is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. Prime Minister Davis says polluters should pay as he calls for more climate financing. No surprise, housing becoming more unaffordable for the middle class. And in business, we're talking pay-to-play. 75% of Bahamian businesses say they are paying bribes to get things done. We're talking with Org Bahamas about this. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Thursday, November 14th, 2024. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Laverne Gardner will be joining us. Also this morning, we're talking with the IL Cares Foundation about IL Fit Fest coming up in just a couple of days. We'll get all the details about that. That's all ahead. But first, it's time for The Overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, Prime Minister Philip Davis calling on developed nations to increase resources for climate change adaptation, loss and damage, and to ensure that countries like the Bahamas can access these funds quickly without excessive red tape. He made the charge at the Leaders Summit of the Small Island Developing States on Climate Change, held at the UN Climate Change Conference, known as COP29, taking place in Azerbaijan right now. Prime Minister Davis saying that, quote, we implore bilateral and multilateral partners to scale up resources for adaptation and loss and damage and to ensure that SIDS can access these funds at scale quickly without excessive and costly bureaucracy. Justice demands this. It is unconscionable that small island developing states should bear the brunt of a climate crisis that we did not and are not contributing to. David said the small island developing states have spent 18 times more in debt than they've received in climate finance. He said the annual cost of damage from disasters is equal to an average of up to 8% of the entire GDP of SIDS, without considering the growing need for adaptation or the mounting toll of loss and damage. A man who police caught having sex with an underage girl 15 years ago has been jailed for 4 years and 6 months after he took a plea deal. 64-year-old Henry Saunders was also sentenced to 3 years probation, which will come into effect upon his release from custody. If Saunders gets into trouble during that period, he will return to prison for 3 years. Justice Wilhelmina Archer Mins imposed the sentence after Saunders pleaded guilty to one count of unlawful sexual intercourse. The prosecutor told the court that police officers were on patrol around 3:20 p.m. on Saturday, March 7th, 2009, when they saw a black car parked on Yellow Elder Way. After checking the car, Saunders after they caught him having sex with a 14-year-old girl. In mitigation, Saunders' lawyer said that he was remorseful and had not committed any other offenses while on bail. The lawyer said that the guilty plea had saved the court judicial time and spared the complainant from reliving the incident 15 years later. Saunders has since gotten married. Addressing the court himself, he said that he had given his life to the Lord. The findings of a recently published study on how much it costs to be middle class in the Bahamas suggest that housing is becoming unaffordable for the middle class in Providence. That's according to policy fellow at the University of the Bahamas, Leslie Archer, who authored the report. She was speaking on Guardian Radio's Z Live off the record with Zhivargo Lang yesterday, saying the research findings show that for people who are living a middle class lifestyle, a greater percentage of their spent on housing than if you're working class. She says a higher percentage of the money that you earn is actually going towards housing. You can read more about it in today's Nassau Guardian. And any suggestion from politicians that they can bring high costs of goods and services under control is, quote, lofty aspiration and not rooted in economic reality, so says CEO of Fidelity Bank, Gowan Bowe. Bowe speaking in response to that middle-class study at University of the Bahamas. When asked about the study last week, Prime Minister Davis said that set off controversy when he said one of the factors affecting cost of living was a person's personal choices. Well, Bowe says, quote, I think politicians always say what they believe constituents would like to hear. The reality is that the government, particularly in small island states like the Bahamas, doesn't determine the prices of goods and services. It can subsidize to a certain extent, but the only way it can subsidize is through taxation that is redirected to the subsidy. And more from the courts. Prosecutors discontinuing a murder trial that took place 20 years ago. Richard Roll was accused of the October 3rd, 2004 murder of Lido McIntosh in Providence. Roll, who was on bail, was represented by son Timothy Mills. Overseas, a man who failed in an attempt to break into Brazil's Supreme Court killed himself in explosions outside the building Wednesday that forced justices and staff to evacuate. The two strong blasts were heard about 7:30 p.m. after the day's session finished and all the justices and staff left the building safely, according to Brazil's Supreme Court in a statement. Local firefighters confirmed one man died at the scene in the capital of Brasilia, but did not identify him. The lieutenant governor of Brazil's federal district said the suspect had earlier detonated explosives in a car in a Congress parking lot, which did not cause injuries. Local media reported that the car had exploded, belonged to a member of Brazil's Liberal Party, the same of former President Jair Bolsonaro. Police say only investigations will determine whether the owner of the car is the same man who died in the blasts. And from Haiti, violence again exploding in the Caribbean nation. After U.S. aviation authorities Tuesday blocked airlines from traveling to Haiti for 30 days following the shooting of a number of planes by gangs. Many are still living in fear. Dozens of families have been cut off from their other loved ones, and many more worried about their loved ones on the island. The chaos began over the weekend when a transitional council created to restore the democratic order to Haiti fired the interim Prime Minister Gary Conille, who had been at odds with the council. When Haiti swore in his replacement, Alex Didier Fils-Aimé, on Monday, gangs once again took advantage of the chaos to make power grabs. Gangs shot at 3 different planes of U.S. Airlines, Spirit, JetBlue, and American. landing and taking off from the capital of Port-au-Prince, 85% of which is controlled by gangs, according to the United Nations. One flight attendant was injured and bullets riddled the Spirit plane. As a result, the FAA restricted U.S. airlines from flying to Haiti for 30 days. Meanwhile, fights broke out across the city and gangs began to burn homes in upper-class areas. Streets were left empty and schools, banks, and government facilities closed. The airline restrictions have left Haiti once again isolated from much of the world, with only a trickle of humanitarian assistance. By Wednesday, the crisis continued to grip Port-au-Prince. Schools where fire could be heard on the streets. Doctors Without Borders also reporting that a mix of police and vigilante groups had attacked one of their ambulances, slashing tires, tear gassing medical staff, and executing at least 2 wounded patients. In sports, Queens College dominating the BAISS Swimming Championships. It took place yesterday at Betty Kelly Kenning Aquatic Center. Queens College emerging as a dominant force, clinching first place with an impressive 393 total points. The swimmers delivered strong performances across various categories, trailing behind Queens College St. Anne's High School, securing second with 349 points. St. Augustine's College third with 264 points. From college basketball, the top NBA prospect Valdez Vijay Edgecombe showcasing his skills in a commanding victory by the Baylor Bears over the Sam Houston State University Bearcats. The game took place Tuesday night in Waco, Texas. The Bears ranked number 12, securing a decisive 104-67 win against the Bearcats. From the NBA, Victor Wembanyama, I'm sure I got that wrong, scoring a career-high 50 points in the performance that left his San Antonio teammates and the opposition in awe. Wemby shrugged, wondering when he will do better after the Spurs' 139-130 victory over the Washington Wizards. At only 20 years old, Wemby is the fourth youngest player to score 50 points, trailing only Brandon Jennings, LeBron James, and Devin Booker. Wemby was 8 for 16 on three-pointers, establishing a career high after setting and tying that mark with 6 three-pointers in his previous 2 games. Let's try this again. Victor Wembanyama. Yes, Wembanyama. Okay. And another person with a difficult name, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and the Milwaukee Bucks and coach Doc Rivers wasn't sure it was a good thing that Giannis scored 22 of the team's 24 first-quarter points on Wednesday night. But Rivers could smile after Giannis finished with 59 points in the Bucks' 127-120 victory over the Detroit Pistons, the highest total by any NBA player this season, and 5 short of Giannis' career high of 64 set last season against the Indiana Pacers. And Basketball Hall of Famer Greg Popovich is recovering from what the San Antonio Spurs described as a mild stroke, though there is no timeline or timetable for the NBA's longest-tenured coach to return to the sideline. Popovich had the stroke on November 2nd at the arena where the Spurs play. The team said that he's already started a rehabilitation program with belief that he will make a full recovery. The team released no other details, including what after effects the stroke, if any, will have. And Mike Tyson Not quite in the mood for talking as time winds down before the 58-year-old former heavyweight champion faces YouTuber turned boxer Jake Paul. Tyson had terse answers for all questions Wednesday night, 2 nights before the fight against Paul, who is 31 years younger. The issue of Tyson's health didn't come up in a small concert venue about 20 miles from AT&T Stadium. A bout originally scheduled for July 20th was postponed to Friday night after Tyson had to be treated for a stomach ulcer when he fell ill on a flight. Tyson said in a documentary promoting the fight that he's lost 26 pounds while recovering. Several states wouldn't sanction the bout, but Texas agreed to a fight that was 8 rounds instead of 10 or 12, with 2-minute rounds instead of 3, and heavier gloves designed to lessen the power of punches. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Got your first look at weather brought to you by IL Fit Fest. We've got a tight pressure gradient across the Bahamas. That's going to slacken today as strong high pressure north of the islands will retreat northwards. This will allow winds to relax, but seas on the Atlantic side will be slow to subside. A frontal boundary near the southern Bahamas will move out of the area as well. Another cold front will move into the Bahamas by Friday through Saturday, with just a few spotty showers expected along the boundary. Winds and seas will increase once again with the passage of that front and will begin to subside early next week. Small craft operators should not venture into Atlantic waters due to moderate swells, and beachgoers are advised to stay out of the water in Atlantic exposures due to the high risk of rip currents. Your forecast for today for the northern Bahamas, including Grand Bahama, a mix of sun and clouds during the day, turning mainly fair at night. Pretty much the same for the rest of the northwest Bahamas, including New Providence. Got about a 10% chance of a passing shower or two. Winds easterly at 10 to 15 knots. For the central Bahamas and the southeast Bahamas, a mix of sun and clouds during the day, turning mainly fair at night. 10% chance of a passing shower or two. Winds easterly at 15 knots for the central islands, but northeast to east at 15 to 20 knots for the southeastern islands. Temperatures today, we're looking at highs around 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have more on what is now Tropical Depression 19 and your extended outlook in our next weather check in just a bit. This weather check brought to you by IL Fit Fest. The IL Cares Foundation presents IL Fit Fest, a full-day festival built for all fitness levels to encourage a healthy lifestyle amongst Bahamians, and it's all free. Fitness demonstrations and over $10,000 in gym memberships, supplements, and gym gear to be won. Come recharge, refuel, and start your journey to crushing your fitness goals this Saturday, November 16th, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the University of the Bahamas grounds. IL Fit Fest.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way.
You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day. Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or a tech slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Cades Village, or call 396-1100.
Wake up, it's a new day.
It's easy to go the extra mile when you fill up with Esso Synergy Supreme Plus Fuel. It keeps your engine clean and running smoothly, which helps to make every fill-up last longer. Choose Esso Synergy Supreme Plus Fuel today for better gas mileage and better performance. The Esso brand is a trademark of ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license. Benefits are based on Synergy-branded gasoline compared to gasoline meeting minimum government detergency standards. Actual benefits may vary based on factors driving style and gasoline previously used.
What's that one gift you've longed for?
My own home.
Build or buy your home with financing from CIBC Caribbean and we'll gift you up to US $3,000 towards your legal fees. No loan application fee and up to 95% financing. And if you switch your mortgage to us, take the gift of no switching costs up to US $10,000. Plus, we're giving more with double the chance to win one of 3 cash prizes in your country. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/joyofgiving for more information. Terms and conditions apply.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new day. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianRadio.com, GuardianTalkRadio.com, and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line, powered by BTC, 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Laverne Gardner. Laverne, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hope all's well.
All is well. How are you?
Wonderful, doing wonderful. How's Grand Bahama?
Grand Bahama. We're still standing.
Oh my! Anything new? Anything exciting? Any developments? Any news?
No.
Okay. Right. Okay. There you go.
That's the same things that
Just
have,
the same.
been in the pipeline for however long.
Mm-hmm. Well,
There was a town meeting last night
Oh.
in Rex, Grand Bahama.
Okay.
There's a proposed new ferry. I believe it's West Ferries that may be hopefully coming on board. Bahamian owned. So that's always a beautiful thing. It'll go between West Palm and West End. So
Okay. So that's good.
that is good. If they can get all of their approvals and everything,
Yeah.
that would be excellent. And it's typically it's not going to be a large boat, but good for cargo, and then they'll be able to accommodate maybe between 80 to 100 passengers.
Wonderful.
So, and the focus would be really to make it easier for Bahamians who, import things, bringing them in.
So that's good stuff. That's good stuff.
So that's good stuff. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Because they are ready to go. It's just waiting for all of these approvals and stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
So
All right.
that's possibly exciting.
Well, speaking of Grand Bahama, as we've been telling you, the NASA Guardian is celebrating 180 years this month, and all month long, each day in the paper, we've been doing a blast from the past, looking back at pages from the NASA Guardian over these 18 decades. And today's topic involves Grand Bahama and Freeport. And the first story on this multi-million-dollar project, and then there's another one on the green light being given for the creation of Freeport, and it's all in there. It's really interesting. From 1955, you can read these stories, and yeah, exciting stuff. And yeah, so there's some really interesting information here as well. So, do you know, Laverne, what before Grand Bahama, before Freeport, Grand Bahama was not a population center, not one of the big ones for the Bahamas. But within a few years of 1955, within 10 years, Grand Bahama was shot up to number 2. Do you know which island Grand Bahama? It's 2 islands actually that had a greater population, except for New Providence, of course. Do you know which 2 had was the number 2 population center in the Bahamas and the number 3 population center in the Bahamas?
See, no clue. I'm just gonna guess. Maybe Eleuthera.
That's your number 2?
I don't know.
Yeah. And what's your number 3?
I don't know.
I should do this as a
Andros
trivia.
or Abaco?
You know, you're a woman. Very smart. And I asked a lot of people, and they did not know this. You got it mixed up, though. It's the other way around. It was Andros, then Eleuthera, according to the 1963 census. Yeah, but other people were saying it would be Cat Island or Ackland's Great Island, Long Island. But it was Andros was the number 2 population center before Freeport came around. And then Eleuthera.
For me, the guessing was 2 things.
What?
The guessing was size. I was thinking Andros is going to have to be in there.
You think so?
Because
it's not. It's definitely not in the top 4 right now.
I know, but I was just thinking that, and then Eleuthera, well,
yeah,
it's a bias there, so I thought.
Well, I think a lot of people know Eleuthera was up there. But
yeah.
But how quickly Grand Bahama shot up there?
Shot up, right?
Doubled the population in 10 years, less than 10.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all in today's NASA Guardian, folks. You got to look that up.
I can tell you one thing. At this point, we look like we doing our best to deep Bahama at this point.
Oh no. Just an unfortunate speed bump. Let's hope. But if you want more of that,
I don't know, Dwight. I don't know. I don't know. You got to come over here and check out Sawyer's, the grocery store. They have a location in Lucaya. I don't know if they have 20 items on the shelf.
Wow.
So
that's very sad.
So we're very concerned. And of course, that's more jobs. And then a really cool restaurant. I think I told you about that. When you come over, we go there. But we can't do that anymore because they closed within the last, I think, week and a half.
What?
Yeah. It's called Green Gamut. It's in Port Lucaya. They've closed their doors.
Permanently, or is it like a temporary thing for a slow season type thing? No?
No.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Wow. That's very sad. That's very sad. And when you look at this, again, it's in today's NASA Guardian Guide. Every day got to pick it up for these types of nuggets. But the promise that was felt, there's a quote in here from Wallace Groves, who this is a quote, he envisions the eventual creation of a vast industrial empire that in the near future will include hundreds of companies which will use the area to process or assemble products.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting there. You were getting there, but something has gone wrong. Something has gone wrong. Boy. Okay, we've depressed everybody now.
Yeah,
but I'm hopeful.
So what else is in the news?
I'm hopeful that steps like the proposed local government amendments. And hopefully that will inspire some bigger steps to be taken to really decentralize and allow for new ideas. And because, again, we see this, and we have the brightest ideas for development. We don't have not many good examples. So I think this needs to be done on a local level. The management, the visionary type thinking that is desperately needed for our islands and New Providence. MPs have a role, but is it this? I don't know. I don't know. They need to make the laws that will allow for that type of attitude to prevail. Will they get it? I don't know.
Absolutely.
Hey, also don't forget the Spot the Logo competition, the Vision Challenge continues. If you can find the hidden 180th logos throughout the paper, get it in today, folks. The drawing is tomorrow for this week at the NASA Guardian. So let's talk about what else is in the news. Yeah, well, I think you got me a little depressed now, Laverne. Just thinking about that, how far. But I feel for you all, how far the island came from. What was it? Fishing villages and pine forests to the second most populated island in the Bahamas. In no time, like this is really, really very sad. And again, we've not made any. I mean, Freeport was even before self-governance, but we've not done anything since then, and definitely not since independence. What are we doing? Just gated communities. That's the only thing we can say we've done. No new towns or cities. And just the country is all moving. Everybody's moving to New Providence. That's all we've done since self-rule. Pile up on New Providence. Boy, wow. Let's take this call. I don't know what you're calling about, but hey, good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
Hello, Warren.
Good morning.
Dwight, you know what I call in about, right? You just excite me, Dwight, right? In this way, right? You have so much confidence, Dwight, in the status quo government.
No, I don't. I'm optimistic. We will catch sense and show them something.
Yes.
I have no faith in the status quo at all, because the status quo is going to continue to do what the status quo has been doing. I'm confident in the Bahamian people that they know that we can do better. They know that we don't need this type of system that we have, that there are better ways to do things, and that we're going to wake up and say, I'm done with this, I'm sick and tired, I'm not going to take it anymore.
All right, Dwight,
that's what I'm confident in.
Hey, Dwight, I appreciate that, but yeah, I know you. I mean, when I said that, I wasn't saying that. I only saying that how it came across to me.
Oh boy,
right? I know that I ain't really you. I've been listening to you for a little while, right? But I'm just saying that's how it came across to me. But Dwight, the proposal for local government in this country, right, Dwight, is only another watered down situation because of hearing what is being proposed by the COI island states, right? It's the same. It's only now a watered down version, because you see this administration know what is being said. They are hearing it from people when they go around these islands, so they decide that they can come with a watered down version to try to see if they could hold the people them back again, right? Because all of us know that the PLP or the FNM is not interested in relinquishing no power in this country, and that's why you have in this conversation this morning about people have to islands who was doing well back in the day, and now they have 2 and 1 persons on it, because Why? That's only another demonstration of our leadership, right? We have leadership who led the people them right back to New Providence and locked them right down because there's nothing in the islands for nobody. I mean, they are very tranquil and beautiful places, but you will die from mosquitoes bite and hunger on those islands, right? There's absolutely nothing. No, what is called emergency apparatus. No docks. No egg. So we have to keep. Well, I can continue. We have to always put this situation to the leaders what we had and having the day. These people have no vision. They have talks. They are eloquent in speech, but they have no vision. You see our prime minister sound like a desperate man, like he trying to force the people to give him this money and he ain't set up no plan of what he can do with this money in the way that he gets it. What is the plan for this money? Ain't none. But he just out there trying to get this money, right? But at the end of the day, we as a BMN people, we have to continue to call it out when we see it, so that these politicians can understand that this ain't 1962. This ain't in the 60s. We didn't pass that time, that era, right? This is 2024, and the people them could see right through the politicians. Dwight, you guys have a wonderful day. Beautiful show as usual.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. So we're going to do a show on the legislation, what's proposed soon. Just trying to get the right mix of people on to talk about this fully. I hear you. You could. It is a way to go, jumping headfirst into it. The pros and cons to that, but there are also pros and cons to taking incremental steps. As long as you don't plan on staying there forever, right? Taking the incremental steps perhaps is better than, no, it's definitely better than not moving. Laverne, I don't know how you feel about it, but I'm all for that. It isn't the COI idea. Many people have been saying that for a long time, that all of our islands need greater autonomy, need to be functioning like states. Well, when they are ready to do it, you can't force them, but when they are ready, that's how it should be. But many are scared of that. Many are terrified, clearly. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't know why. I know things could go wrong, but more could go right. And more education needs to be done, definitely. I wish I could dedicate the whole show to talking about that every day, but you all revolt. But Laverne, I don't know. Are you feeling any encouragement from hearing that islands will be able to have towns that can raise their own revenue and will have much more of a say in the development of their communities?
But haven't, to a certain extent, haven't islands already been raising their own revenue?
And keeping it?
No.
Oh, okay. No,
that
keeping.
part. But like I told you
Keeping it.
before earlier when we talked about this, I am hopeful. I'm at a point where I don't just hear something reported or something that comes from our legislators and I'm immediately like, yes, this is it. The devil is always in the details. And, I like to read exactly what it says and then begin to watch and see if that is what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I will say that I am hopeful. Absolutely want to see it happen. So I'm hopeful.
Yeah. Let's take some more calls. We haven't really launched the topic of people just, I guess, inspired to call in based on.
This is what it is. But this is what we're talking about.
I guess. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight, and good morning to Laverne. Laverne, girls, don't give up hope. You can live a couple of days without food and water, but you can't live a day without hope. So be hopeful, like the former Prime Minister Christie said, I'm an eternal optimist. But I just hope that your hope don't turn to despair, okay? But Dwight, there's an old adage or saying that says that if you fail to plan, the way it is,
you plan to fail.
You plan to fail.
Mm-hmm. And we have the Christian administration started the National Development Plan, right? So we could have a guideline as to how we want to build our country, how we want to see our country look in another 50 years. And this administration, which has promised to reconstitute or whatever it is, put water in the milk to make it back to what it was. Ain't nothing happening. We ain't hear a Christ thing but a National Development Plan. All of these things, what they had in this, our plan and plan, their plan, nothing, Dwight. And like the previous caller said, all we doing is living off politician promises, you know. And if they lose, which I believe they will next general election, when whatever administration comes in, they can come in with their plan. They can switch up all the money they done invest in Pike and this and all them other things. The next administration, they have a different agenda and this and that. And so all we continue to do, Dwight, is just go around like that. What a little animal would be on the treadmill. Just going
hamsters.
around and getting nowhere, just wasting up our money, what could be used for the people. People can't find houses, people can't find food, the cost of living, the golden yoke I told you. And yes, Dwight, I believe you'd be caping for them sometimes, you know. Yeah. I told you this golden yoke was a golden joke, okay? How long would it take a chicken to lay an egg, Dwight? Come on, man. February 20 can make 2 years since they announced it. Nobody came back and say where the plan was. Did they scrap it? Whatever it is. You know, that's what I don't like about these government. If you say you're going to do something, you can't do it. Come back and let the people know what is going on. Grand Bahama. I mean, he was like fumbling when it came to Grand Bahama and the airport. What is going on with the airport, Ms. Gardner? Huh? What is happening with Grand Bahama Airport, which is so important to the development of that country? The DPN can't give a definitive answer on nothing when it comes to the Grand Bahama Airport. The hotel is another thing. The Prime Minister said, I have an answer for you in a couple of weeks, a couple of months, and then just nothing. We still waiting. The Prime Minister said that he will give the plans for the BPL thing in a couple of weeks in Parliament. Nothing. Just little sound bites here and there. But we can't run a country like this, right? We can't run a country like this, man. I don't know what to say. But anyhow, let's keep hope alive because we need hope. And this Dwight and Laverne, this is the month of thanks. So let's give God thanks anyhow, okay? I know it's bad, but some people got a voice in us. Haiti got a voice in us. So let's give God thanks anyhow, and let's hope we could find some people to straighten out our country, eh?
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Things are horrible, but it's not as bad as Haiti. Okay. Well, there you go.
I'm crying at this point.
Yeah.
After that call, I'm crying.
Oh, boy. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. No, call us back. 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. What is this, Laverne? What is this? What seriously? When was this picture taken? She sent me a photo of, this is what, your largest supermarket or one of them, or what is it?
No, it's not the largest. It's the second largest.
The second largest. And this is when was this photo taken?
That's the dairy section. That I think maybe last week, the week before I went in there personally, they had a little bit more stuff. It's almost as if they're selling what they have. The produce section is still going on, but you get that feeling. I'm not saying that is what they are doing, but you get the feeling like, okay, this is what we have, so let's see.
Let me describe to people. So this is. I mean, there's nothing here. This is empty. There's like 12 bottles of something, milk,
whipped cream or something.
Whipped cream.
I think.
That's it.
I don't know.
Everything is empty. Mm-hmm. What's the reason? Have they given an explanation as to what's happening?
Because so many people kept posting and saying what's going on with Sawyer's. They just apologized and said, like a very blanket statement that doesn't really say anything. Something with inventory. They are aware.
Well,
like
oh
that.
my
Like we
God.
aware that there's an
Well, I would
inventory
hope
issue. We
so.
apologize for the
The
inconvenience.
store,
So
the shelves are bare.
for me, my biggest concern is that I hope that employees have been, looking for employment elsewhere because this they've made that statement, but there's been you've not seen the shelves really being restocked. I went there, I think it was 2 weeks ago. 'Cause my sister was like, they still, because she stops in there and she says they may still have, she says they still seem to pretty much have some, good fresh meat. Let's go there. I was looking for a particular thing, and I went there, and the section where they keep all the fresh meat with the lights on, it was all turned off, dark in there. They just, so that section, they had some other, meat out, but it was anyway.
All right. So
So
is
yeah.
it just this company? So are the other supermarkets facing issues as well, or is it just bad
Well,
management,
it's
perhaps?
just this Sawyer's. It isn't Solomon. Solomon seems to have more stock. I don't. There doesn't appear to be an inventory issue at Solomon.
It's very sad. Very sad. And wow. I will try to post this with. This is your photo? Hmm?
No, it's not
Oh, it's
my
not your photo.
photo. It's made the rounds though.
Okay. Yeah, it's depressing. So what are we hearing? I mean, do you all? I mean, I don't. I think it's a waste of time to talk to MPs. Really, just foolish. But what are your MPs saying? Are you hearing anything from them? What are they saying about it? You've got a mix of folks with the PLP and folks with the FNM. It doesn't make a difference. I know that. But what are they saying? You hearing anything? Oh, that's silence. That's what you're doing again?
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate
You're welcome.
You're like it's like an animated feature.
Hearing anything?
Right. Well, I'm going to give you a cricket sound
Yeah.
effect so you can do that because we feel like we've lost you. But so we'll give you the crickets, and you can press crickets when you want to answer like that. How's that?
But I like the
You
silence.
like the silence
It's more
too?
effective. And
Both will work.
The
Both will
reason
work.
that I enjoy the silence is there's a bit of panic in your voice when you say, "Are you there?"
Oh, there you go. That's very effective. Okay, I get it.
So that's why I like it.
Oh my goodness. This is depressing. Okay. Wow. Let's take some more calls.
But I feel like we've completely derailed.
Well, this is what needs to be talked about,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, the stuff. We got a crisis. The country's second city has failed. It's failed. Once, we talked about it earlier. It had doubled in population. Grand Bahama had doubled in population between 1955 and 1965. And is one of the few islands now, well, not a few because it's quite a lot, seeing the population decline, according to the last census. People are trying to, the last time I was there, just the number of abandoned buildings. It looks like a horror movie. And what are we doing? What are they doing? It doesn't matter if one party holds all the seats and is in government. It doesn't matter if it's split. It doesn't matter if there's a minister for the island. Things just don't seem to be going in the right direction. What is the issue? Is it time for a massive restructuring of everything to do with Grand Bahama? Caller, what say you? Good morning. You're on the air.
The Lion Crew,
Thank you very much. Yeah, caping for these clowns? You got to be kidding, previous caller. Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning to both of you.
Hi.
Well, Dwight and Laverne, I
Good morning.
don't know, maybe you see it, but I don't see any sign where this government is interested in taking any meaningful steps toward local government. I mean, you talk about incremental steps and so forth. But because me being optimistic, that's going to lower my level of depression, and I don't get too anxious. But I'm anxious all the time. And I know it's good for my health, and I'll be resilient. And my relationships are going to be steady because I'm optimistic, even though I see a dagger coming right at me in the terms of economic depression. But Doctor, I think it's Dr. Leslie Archer, or if she's not a doctor, but anyway,
not yet,
a study
but
that dealt
soon.
with the $10,000 a month for a family of four to survive, to be in the middle class. She also mentioned that we have been used to a certain standard back in the period of time when money was flowing, what caused that money to flow. And now we're trying to keep up to that standard that the drug money and all that good money is drying up. So maybe our standards have to be looked at and thoroughly addressed, But what I see happening in the United States, a family of four can afford a nice house, nice location, middle class, for $800 a month. Now it's being predicted that there's going to be a increase. $2,400 a month is going to be for that house. Now that family...
Where? In the U.S.?
Yeah.
Not with Donald Trump, the Lord and Savior. No. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but the Donald Trump has some plans. But, and mind you, the dollar's doing very strong. But all he can do is damage it. That's just what he does. So I see us moving in a very bad way where the tourists, all we focus on are these tourists that come. Do we have actually any figures as to the visitors that come and stop over in the hotels, or are we just looking at the cruise ships?
No, we do. But we know.
Because I never hear it.
No, yes, it's there. It is absolutely there. We know the numbers, and we know that we have a lot of work to do, especially compared to our partners in the rest of the region, right? But unfortunately, the majority of the visitors are on cruise ships.
And we're making some steps toward moving away from the cruise ship passengers to encourage the stopover visitors to increase, because I think that will help.
I don't think we're trying to move away from the cruise ships, but we're trying to encourage more stopover, not moving away from cruise ships.
Okay, yeah, but when I say, I mean those people who are taking the cruise to get them to fly in.
That's always been what has been attempted.
Okay, so we trying things, eh?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I am optimistic.
About to do a Laverne.
But hearing Laverne about, I think the food store in Grand Bahama is poor management.
It could be. Let's hope that's what that is, and not necessarily a sign of the challenges there. I was going to ask if it's related to the hurricanes in Florida. Could that be causing?
No, I don't think that it's related to the hurricanes. Now, they do have another location, which is on, like, you're familiar with Queens Highway area. So I'll say that general area. I'm not sure how well stocked they are there, but that is the other location in Lucaya that looks like that. I'll probably pass there today just to have a look and see how their other location is faring.
Okay.
Keep open.
Thank you very much. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. All right. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Grand Bahama call in, 242-300-5720. This is Grand Bahama call right now, right? Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, it is. Yeah, Alan Johnson.
Good morning.
Hi, Lorraine. Hi, Dwight.
Hi.
Lorraine, you could save the trip to that one. That one is worse than Lucaya one.
What?
Okay.
So you must have some inside information.
I think we have to understand it. These inventories are, like, for instance, even has managed to keep a particular stock. But here's what happens. I don't know particularly concerning soyas, because they are New Providence stock, and you can't believe they're buying from different people for the same Bahamas. But it's the same thing with AML. We are in a crisis, and AML uses artificial intelligence to determine the needs and the usage using their employee loyalty card. So they kind of know where the trend of buying and what is being bought and what is being sold at. It makes no sense to stock your shelves with products that won't move. They also know when Social Services is giving their check, when the National Insurance is giving their check, and when the people are getting paid, so they know the peaks. So generally during the peak time, you would see the store semi-stock, and then when those peak periods 3 or 4 times a month happens, it then goes away to the regular stock, and it makes economic sense in the way it is. So Laverne, you and I that shop avoiding the peak times, but generally see those stores empty.
That's crazy.
Okay, but it's because there's no
Well,
money flow.
even on to that point, you've seen a reduction in Solomon's in Grand Bahama. So let's say, for instance, you had 4 different brands for evaporated milk. Cream, we call cream. You may only see 3. You may only see 2. But you do see, the other day I wanted to get some burgers, didn't feel like making any. So I said, let me go and I'll go to the store and see if they have a really good brand of burger. There was only one brand that's really awful.
That one,
not very good. And there was only one
brand,
brand. And I said to the butcher, I said, do you have, he said, no, this is all that we have. So you have seen a reduction in your options.
Yeah. So what they do is they have the regular box brand and then the fresh ground beef, and they're the 2 choices you have.
Okay, so I don't want to harp on the brands, the company brands too long. But let me just say this before you go on. I'm getting a message from, because I'm sure you're aware, Sawyer's has opened here in they're in Paradise Island, and I'm being told the shelves are empty here too. So something might be going on with them. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I hear what you're saying,
Maybe.
Allen, but something might be going on with them. So they that might just be anyway. But you were going to say, what else were you going to say?
No, I'm saying, but you see the same variance in their bulk place in Cartwright also. So you Providence type environment, but I understand the economic factors if you use logistics type thing for Grand Bahama, because as you begin to look at which brands is moving, and when those brands are no longer moving, there's no need to keep them on those shelves, because stores have a very thin margin, and they cannot afford to allow something to sit on the shelf for 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah, okay.
There's a turnover of 3 to 5%, and so you using technology now, you get to choose, and then
an empty shelves when you go in one day, but 3 weeks later it's not empty. That's not a bad look. That doesn't inspire confidence. In
Solomon's is good is that they, like where you would normally have 10 items, let's say you have a row with 20 items, so they don't leave the empty shelf, so if they only have 12
nobody
items,
does that.
Make it wider. So
right. No, that's how the supermarkets work. But what you're seeing with this picture with Sawyer's, I don't understand it. Why that is
right? But this
not comfortable.
It's been that way. It's been getting to that state for weeks now. Like I said, because people have been on public outcries to the point where maybe a month ago they did post a statement about inventory and they apologized for the inconvenience. But it's just, since then, it isn't like it's been restocked and sold out. It's just you continue to see a steady decline.
But let me add one point to that, Dwight. If you look from a business standpoint, even though that store has to be a minimum, it could be that it could be a strategic because there is no money on Grand Bahama.
Right. This is what we want to get to. Right.
On television. So what you do is you also, even though you keep a scanty store, you're just trying to meet the cost of maintaining those places, because until the economy grows, you have issues. And the problem is that Grand Bahama is the canary in the mine in regards to the Bahamian economy, and so we have not grown. They announced last month that inflation in the U.S. is 2.6. So that means that we import inflation. So that means we will see a 2% increase. If you look at Grand Bahama being and you go back to the 2002 campaign, every person who was running for prime minister has said that where the direction Grand Bahama goes, so will the rest of the country. And right, you've been promising for 4 years to have a couple of days very specific to what Grand Bahama is. And you don't need to change anything in Grand Bahama. You need to utilize Grand Bahama for what it already calls for it to be. But I've told you that the Grand Bahama could be called the Grand Deception, because fixing Grand Bahama brings about the change that emasculates the members of parliament, just like which was said when the report was released on New Providence. In fact, you're talking about the housing crisis in Grand Bahama right now, and this is where we need to have a conversation concerning this housing, because the failure of financial services would have contributed to the housing crisis in the Bahamas, because we're using antiquated banking and financial services systems when you have places like neobanks and other type of banking that allows, and fintech, that allows homes to be built, allows social housing to be built, where normally you would pay $1,200 a month for a regular rent. From a social housing perspective, you'll pay probably $700 or $800 maximum in regards to that. And these build-outs doesn't require the system we use that literally requires 1% of your income, of your yearly income, just to provide the 1 month's rent. And so, but these other type of banking opens up liquidity into the market, because these other banks are sitting on cash and assets and properties and to talk about. But we don't talk about these so-called hospitality and financial service and banking, how to reform those. Grand Bahama needs 14,500 new beds in the room for tourism to be viable. But we got a lot of calls coming.
Sian, thank you so much. A lot to think about there, and I think we could solve a lot of the housing issues here if we could get some people to get back to Grand Bahama. There's a lot of, they might need a lot of work, but you got it. You could my goodness, you could do it. Let's take this call quickly before we have to go. We have to take a break. Good morning. You're on the air. Are you there, caller? Good morning. Hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi. Yeah. Barely hear you. Are you on speaker? You got to get close to your phone.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah. If you're on speaker.
Good morning.
Okay.
As far as what's going on with Sawyers and other businesses, keep in mind they have suppliers and distributors who they have to get their products from. If they don't have the cash flow to purchase the items from the suppliers and the distributors, and if they had a line of credit with them and they ain't meeting their obligation to these suppliers and distributors, they ain't get no product from them.
Yeah, so it's a sign of the big crisis. Big crisis.
It's a basic business is all about supply and demand, and who have the resources to purchase the products and provide the services. Now, the thing about it is I hope that the company, if they go into the business, that they have money secured to pay the staff, and it don't be another city market situation.
All right.
That's one of the biggest problems that.
Thanks a lot. Let's not. We don't know what's happening. I don't want to call these names so much, but that is a disturbing photo of the empty shelves. But again, it could speak to the major challenges in Grand Bahama. Callers, we'll get back to you after the news. We're going to take a break and pick this up on the other side. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Mr. Johnson trying to find Freddie, and Margaret looking for them on Bay Street, Baintown, Palmdale, and over the hill. Cross the bridge to Paradise Island, but alas to no avail. So they all come to one conclusion: they're in Freeport or they're in jail. So if you're looking, searching, and worrying, you'll find it's true without any fail. If you can't find your friends in Nassau, they're in Freeport or they're in jail. Auntie Alice looking for Mary, and she cousin Leslie and Gail. She even fly to Miami, Coral Gable and Fort Lauderdale. But she still come to this conclusion after using plane, car, and sail. If you can't find your friends in Nassau, they're in Freeport or they're in
This
jail.
is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Got your first look at traffic for the morning brought to you by RBC. Reminding you about the Home and Auto Expo this Saturday at their JFK location, Royal Star House. So now we're seeing some heavy traffic on Mile Butler Highway as usual, from well south of the Fire Trail roundabout straight up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway. That's the northbound lanes there. Seeing some building traffic on Carmichael westbound to Coral Harbor Road. And eastbound to Blue Hill Road. You're seeing some slow-moving traffic there. Blue Hill Road busy for you from just north of St. Vincent straight up to Independence Drive, especially north of Soldier Road. Pockets along Tawny Williams Darling Highway, westbound to Mile Butler Highway, as we told you, but also east and westbound towards Bahamas Games Boulevard. Seeing some slow-moving traffic there. Already traffic building at the six-legged roundabout northbound and eastbound on JFK, southbound in Providence Highway. Saunders Beach busy for you as well. West Bay Street near the roundabout. Then there's eastern New Providence, seeing some slow-moving traffic from on Eastern Road from Fox Hill to about Johnson Road. And Prince Charles Drive near Beatrice Avenue straight through to Robinson Road westbound. That's your first look at traffic this morning. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend Traffic brought to you by RBC, the Holiday Home and Auto Expo, Saturday at the JFK location in Royal Star House. And time for another check of your weather for today. We've got the tight pressure gradient across the Bahamas. It's going to slacken today. A strong high pressure north of the area will retreat northwards. This is going to allow winds to relax, but seas on the Atlantic side will still be slow to subside. A frontal boundary near the southern Bahamas will move out of the area as well. But we've got another cold front that's going to move into the Bahamas by Friday through Saturday with just a few spotty showers ahead of that front. Winds and seas will pick up again behind the front and will begin to subside early next week. So small craft operators should not venture into Atlantic waters due to moderate swells and beachgoer with Atlantic exposures. All right, so for today, for all areas, a mix of sun and clouds during the day, turning mainly fair at night. Temperatures in the mid-80s for highs and in the mid-70s for lows. And for the next few days, a mix of sun and clouds during the day, turning mainly fair at night, straight through the weekend and into the start of the new week. Some comfortable temperatures coming once that front moves in. More on that in our next weather check after the news. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Mr. Johnson trying to find Freddie and Margaret
This
looking for
is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
It turns out that there is more than one special gift to give that special someone this Christmas. Consumers are searching for the perfect presents and the right prices, so why not place your products or services in the Nassau Guardian's Holiday Gift Guide? And this year's Christmas shoppers will be sure to find that special something for everyone on their list. For an all-inclusive price, you can have your ads published twice in December in the Nassau Guardian's Holiday Gift Guide, in addition to 10, 15, and 30-second commercials, and not to mention a web ad on the Nassau Guardian's website. Advertising deadline, remember, is November 29th. For more information, contact your sales agents or call the Nassau Guardian Advertising Department at 302-2300. That's 302-2300, and ask about our Holiday Gift Guide Media Bundle. You don't want to miss this opportunity. Ring in those holiday profits by placing an ad in the Nassau Guardian Holiday Gift Guide.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC, it's true.
No more wishing for your Christmas ideas to come true. Get a no-fee loan from RBC and make those ideas a reality.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC, it's true.
Loan for all of your Christmas ideas starts with a conversation. Visit a branch to speak with an advisor today. Offer ends December 31st.
Around the world, Cleveland Clinic is recognized as a leader in healthcare. Our team of experts relentlessly pursues the best for our patients. From groundbreaking cancer research to state-of-the-art heart surgery, life-saving innovations happen here every day. When it's time to travel for your health, it's time to travel to Cleveland Clinic, your destination for care. for every care in the world. To learn more, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
This message is proudly endorsed by the Minister of Economic Affairs, Senator the Honorable Michael B. Halkitis.
I'm proud to introduce the Made in the Bahamas certification, a mark of pride and quality. Join us on Thursday, November 14th at 5:30 p.m. for the BBSQ's National Town Hall meeting at the Holy Trinity Anglican Church Activity Center. This free 2-hour event is your chance to learn more about the Made in the Bahamas certification program and how.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
I've been up at Penda and I meet him in the showroom. I said, Penda, I just come out of a showroom in Portugal and let me tell you something, them showroom and selection ain't got nothing on yours. Man, I like this stock of porcelain and ceramic tile you got here. What I really like is the range of sizes that come in, 8 by 48, 12 by 24, 24 by 24, and what I really like more than the things I really like is the price. From $275 a square foot to $494 a square foot and all in between. You can't beat that, not even with a 2x4 from Enterprises.
Are you a Bahamian with property on one of our 16 island destinations? Well, the Tourism Development Corporation, in partnership with Bahamas Development Bank, is officially launching our Home Sweet Home Incentive. Join the vacation market by transforming your properties into $10,000 or more in funding and start building today. Register at tdcbahamas.com. from October 7th to November 18th. What are you waiting on? Build your vacation home today.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Busy mornings demand a hearty breakfast, so start your mornings off the best way with Wendy's new breakfast wrap. Enjoy this savory wrap that's packed with fresh cracked eggs, breakfast potatoes, and a melty cheese sauce, with a choice of savory sausage or crispy bacon, all wrapped in a warm, soft tortilla. Wendy's always serves breakfast the right way.
What gift gives you joy?
An investment in land. That's joy to my future.
Finance your land with CIBC Caribbean and we'll gift you up to US $500 towards valuation fees, no loan application fee, and up to 15 years to repay. Plus, we'll also give you the cash prizes in your country from our regional pot of over US $100,000. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/joy of giving for more information. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Mr. Johnson trying to find Freddie and Margaret looking for Lil. They look all around on Bay Street, Baintown, Palmdale, and over the hill. Cross the bridge to Paradise Island, but alas to no avail. So they all come to one conclusion: they're in Freeport or they're in jail. So if you're looking, searching, and worrying, you'll find it's true without any fail. If you can't find your friends in Nassau, they're in Freeport or they're in jail. Auntie Alice looking for Mary, and she cousin Leslie and Gail. One fly to Miami, Coral Gable and Fort Lauderdale. But she still come to this conclusion after using plane, car, and sail. If you can't find your friends in Nassau, they're in Freeport or they're in jail. So if you're looking, searching, and worrying, you'll find it.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Laverne, is it real? I don't know if they're in Freeport anymore. They might be in jail, though, if they're not here. Dwight Strachan, along with Laverne Gardner this morning. Well, what say you? Is that still the case? Laverne Gardner, are you there? Is she doing the silent thing again? Or did she mute
No,
herself?
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear
Well,
me?
now we can hear you. Now you can hear you. Yeah. All
Sorry.
right.
My headphones were, I don't know what was happening.
All right. So we're still talking about grandpa. We got a lot of messages coming in. So somebody said earlier, Laverne, that I was being dramatic when I said that Grand Bahama was like a horror movie.
Oh, yeah, but absolutely, Dwight, you were being dramatic.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I need to define the type of horror movie I'm talking about.
And you could, but the choice of words.
Well,
You're being dramatic, but that's who you are. You are dramatic.
Oh, really? Oh, thank you.
Come on, Dwight. You got a text, and it's like, oh my God, what?
Okay, that's fine. But the horror movie where you are driving around the neighborhood and there's nothing but abandoned buildings and everything is abandoned, the whole street. That's a spooky movie. Like, where are the people? What happened here? Was there an incident? That's a scary movie. You don't want to be there alone.
Right, but that's not what you're having here.
That's not?
You know that.
That's what I
You're not
see.
driving down the street, a whole line of abandoned buildings.
Oh, well, I could
Certain
take
areas
you.
you go into, there are abandoned buildings. It's not like, a continuous line of abandoned buildings. Don't get me wrong. We have our share of abandoned buildings, but say things for a fact. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I could take you where I saw a whole stretch of abandoned apartment buildings, and I was like, "What's going on?" But anyway, maybe you don't notice it. Maybe you see it every day and you don't notice it.
Yeah, and that's the other thing, right? So for me, I live here every day. I'm passing these things, so there's a certain amount of you get accustomed to it, to what you're seeing. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't really create that shock value for someone who hasn't visited Grand Bahama in a while. Let's say 6 months, whatever, and they carry that memory and then they come. It could be a shocking experience.
Yeah.
And I go back to when, my kids hadn't been home in a while because, with COVID and all of that. And so they were able to come home for a week. And I'm driving from the airport on my way home. I take a particular route and I'm just talking normal. And they're like, stop me. And I can't remember if it was my son or my daughter. One of them says, Mommy, what happened to my Grand Bahama? Right?
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
Again, like I said, I'm here every day. So to me, I'm driving. To them who had not been home since the pandemic, it was a shocking thing for them.
Yeah, that's how I felt last year.
So I could understand your reaction.
Yeah.
And then your words as well for you. So that's how you would see it. But let's not also miss the big point, which is you are dramatic. But okay.
Both things can be accurate. Okay.
Yes.
Sure.
And in this case, both things are accurate.
Okay. Anyway, this texter says, hey, Dwight, if businesses are no food on the shelves, we need to start unwinding our affairs with Grand Bahama and sell it like a key. See, these type people, now that's dramatic, right? Those are the people that you need to be concerned about.
I
People
think
who
they
talk like
just say that for effect so that you could read it.
Wow. How can you be confident in population whose vote can be swung with a bottle of beer, a plate of food, and a $100 note stuffed in a T-shirt from time to time? Yeah. Well, that is scary. That is scary.
Yeah,
but I mean, if that helps you to sleep well at night, and in 4 years that will give you some comfort, you really have to think with sense. Boy, this texter says the politicians have no vision when it comes to the development of the Family Islands, which will alleviate the crime and the overcrowded communities in Nassau. Just give a fully functional local government. Yeah, that's what we've been saying. We've been saying that. This texter says, all I can say is this administration isn't it. They've failed already. That's a text. This person says here, Dwight, I too was hopeful about the Golden Yoke project. I mean, we don't know where it is. And they need to do a better job with the public relations to let people know, give better updates. I don't think it has been abandoned. It's right. And they said it would take a little time to get things going. It's not as kids laying eggs.
Yeah, just laying eggs.
Right. They were involving a lot of different farmers, and they wanted everyone to be on the same standard. From what I remember, they said the last time they were here, but maybe it is time for an update. So hopefully they're listening and will do something. But anyway, they're saying, can we ask the government for an update? Yes, exactly. Let's update a list of questions and invite the press secretary. Well, no, anyway. We want to hear directly from the minister or directors on these issues. This person says here, because of its location to the United States, Grand Bahama should be the most successful island. Okay. Really? Anyway. But no matter what government is in power, they don't do well. You always say it's the people when it comes to Nassau, but maybe it's really the people and bad attitudes in Grand Bahama. Okay. Well, historically, that wasn't the case. I mean, you're saying why would it necessarily be
we are
because
the
of
ones
that?
who vote in and vote out people. So, yeah, we bear a responsibility. Bad attitude, not sure where we're going with that, so I won't take that on.
Mm-hmm. But just because it's there doesn't mean that it's going to be the most successful, right? It's a lot more to it than that. A lot more to it than that. Ask some other countries that are doing very well, and they're much further away than we are. So that isn't. There's something else. Definitely something else. This texter says.
Well, I think there may be
that you broke.
They're saying.
Go
Sorry,
on.
I said maybe. I think the text is saying that maybe we should be leveraging our proximity more.
Grand Bahama. Okay.
Yeah, because you could be the distribution hub or whatever. You know what I mean? Because of the proximity. So use it maybe in a better way.
Okay. All right. This text says here, when Laverne mentioned the empty supermarket shelves, it reminded me of a conversation I had yesterday with a smart Bahamian abroad. I mentioned to them that a chicken sandwich and apple pie is now about $15. I personally do not believe this is inflation or energy. The individual said to me that this sounded what happened in Jamaica. The colleges now said Haiti has it worse, but if we continue on this trajectory for another 10 years, we will not only not be able to afford mortgages and rent, food will go out of the reach of many more Bahamians as well. The government needs to release their money-grubbing hands off the gates of the city. Wow. They are sucking the city dry.
Okay.
Wow.
But the prices, honestly, Dwight, the cost of food, every time I go to the grocery store, there's an increase. There's an increase in the products that I buy.
Yeah. Well, speaking of combos, I was at a place recently, and I hadn't been there in a long time, and the people tell me, "Oh, sir, every combo now, everyone is $9.99 something." Like, would you what now? Just automatically.
Well, there are certain places. There's certain places. If you're gonna get a combo for two people, you have to carry at least $30.
Right? You remember the
prices are ridiculous.
We've come a long way from the $2.99 and $3.29 combos.
Those days
are
gone, and they're not coming back.
My good Lord, $9 something. Okay,
yeah.
All right. These are the worst, the worst, the bad old days apparently. Oh gosh, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning.
Hi.
Yeah, good morning to you guys too. I just came from Freeport, but Dwight, what you saying? It's more or less, you ever watch the Apocalypse movie?
That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
That's more or less what
That's
it
a
is.
horror
Like
movie.
Apocalypse.
You don't think those are horror movies? You don't want to live in an apocalypse. That's a horror.
Nah, that's not a horror movie.
That's not a horror movie.
Yeah,
Dystopian drama.
Okay, you would want to say it's like a zombie-like type thing.
Well, that's a horror movie. Yeah.
Yeah, but Apocalypse more,
Laverne, you hearing this? You hearing this? Is this dramatic? Is he dramatic too? Is he being dramatic? I don't think. No, we're not being dramatic. That's exactly what it is.
Realistic.
Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it.
The boy that's living in the La La Land.
Oh boy, yikes!
Tell him come to Freeport. She sees it every day, so she is eye blind now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when you smell something so much, you get nose
I
blind.
did admit to saying that I'm seeing this every day, so it's
No,
not
but
going to have the same effect.
from
I did say that.
one end to the other, and just the middle, in between, so-called the city part and the outskirts, all of them, like apocalyptic type thing, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Very
when
sad.
the cars coming with spikes.
Very, very sad. Thank you for calling. Appreciate it. It's really, this is depressing. This is not right at all. Not at all. Wow. All right. A few more messages before we have to take a break. This person says here, Dwight, I think Dwight is passionate, not dramatic. Thank you. Another one. He does an awesome job of painting a picture. My mind is boggled at the number of abandoned buildings, especially in the downtown area by Castaways, where I normally stay when I visit. Wow. What percentage of people from NASA
can also be true? He is passionate and dramatic. I'm not letting the dramatic part go.
Okay.
I'm not.
You're making it sound like a bad thing. Well, sometimes, I guess. This person says, what percentage of people from Nassau have visited Freeport? I don't know what's relevance of this. Not enough, I can tell you, probably. But if more did, more people will be talking about how this is a shame, what has happened. Right? It's a real shame. Why are we struggling to find housing when there's so much land and abandoned buildings in Grand Bahama?
Because there's so few opportunities.
Well, then that also needs to be fixed. And plenty of people have ideas. Unfortunately, they, I guess, aren't in the right camps. But they have the ideas and they know what to be done, what needs to be done. But nobody's listening. We'll take one more call and then we got to go to the break. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Yeah, one more thing. Why in the world did they refurbish that in so-called international airport in Freeport? It was underwater. Instead of doing something like the competitors next door, raised it up. So in case in the future when it happens again, because it will happen again, it won't have to scratch from all over again. So why keep throwing money down the hole?
They haven't refurbished the airport. There's a section that we use, but it hasn't been refurbished. The international,
the floor there, done, the counters done.
Part has not been refurbished.
Well, I mean, this isn't what it's supposed to be when they do it over. So it's just
they just have a part. They're just using for now, but that's not,
But they had the other one on the other far end, which used to be international at the time.
And then the internet. That's why I'm saying I don't want callers who've not visited Grand Bahama to think that the entire thing has been refurbished.
No, but you spent money to put the stuff to bring it back up to some type of standard, right? So save that money, demolish that building up, raise everything up, and do it the right way. Why are we always throwing money after bad things?
Well, they don't know when it's going to be done. Thanks for calling. They don't know when it's going to be. So they had to make it look decent. People are coming in and saying, "My God, what the heck? What the heck is this?"
People are still coming in.
Yeah.
And we thought we had a public-private partnership, and then we thought it was a go, and now we don't know what's happening.
Yeah. So they're in a really tough situation there. Really tough. All right, so let me read these as we go to the break. This person says here, Grand Bahama is a deserted city in decay. I can send drone footage. Some apartments that you think are deserted are actually not deserted. Boy, that's scary. Wow. Yeah. Hey, we got to take a break. When we come back, changing gears, we're talking about your health and your fitness. IL Fit Fest is just a couple of days away. We're going to get into that right after the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. And in business, stay tuned. We're going to be talking about bribes, the number of companies that say they need to pay them in order to get things done. What is going on? This is all ahead. Stay with us here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
The Supreme Court now was in session. The defense done put on hero. The prosecution come with the evidence. and the jury started to prove.
Doctors Hospital Specialist Clinic is where trusted and best care meets consistency and dedication. Let our expert specialists take you on a healthcare journey where warmth, compassion, and your well-being come first. From diagnosis to prescription, we are with you every step of the way, ensuring your peace of mind. Visit us today at Centerville Medical Center, Collins Avenue and 6th Terrace, and discover quality, compassionate healthcare at Doctors Hospital Specialist Clinic.
Thanksgiving has arrived early at Montague Motors. This whole month is Black November with deep discounts on selected models. Roll out this season in style. Trusted quality service for over 20 years. Zero down, everyone. Village Road near Shirley. 698-3950. 812-7576. Call Montague Motors now and get the best discounts the entire month of November.
Make your house a home. Stop by the furniture store that's giving you more. With appliances, furniture, and prices. Whatever you want, we got it all. Promise Furniture, no furniture. We give it you, we make it worthwhile. We make it quality, comfort, and style. Quality and style, yeah. Promise Furniture, no one better. What we giving you, we make it worthwhile. Giving you quality, comfort, and style. Promise Furniture.
Don't shop at Sherwin-Williams then. Don't get the best service in the Bahamas then.
The love is really, really strong in Sherwin-Williams. We don't just sell paint. We service you with a smile, good hearts, mind, soul, and body. And we love our customers as much as we love ourselves.
Yes, real talk.
I'm not just saying this
Real talk.
to impress myself.
We love to go beyond with customer service. So they feel delighted to come in Sherwin-Williams because they know I can either see Dee Dee, or I can see Shelly, or one of our other wonderful staff members. Customers pay the respect of our boss because there are many paint companies they could choose to go to. No, baby. If they go to some other paint companies, so I'm gonna get this little thing at the end of the week.
We want to make sure you get that little ting, Shelley. Come visit Shelley and Dee Dee at Sherwin's Bahamas, and you'll surely find colour in every day.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC, it's true.
No more wishing for your Christmas ideas to come true. Get a no-fee loan from RBC and make those ideas a reality.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC, it's true.
Finding the right loan for all of your Christmas ideas starts with a conversation. Visit a branch to speak with an advisor today. Offer ends December 31st.
Are you a Bahamian with property on one of our 16 island destinations? Well, the Tourism Development Corporation, in partnership with Bahamas Development Bank, is officially launching our Home Sweet Home incentive. Join the vacation market by transforming your properties into vacation rentals. Earn up to $10,000 or more in funding and start building today. Register at tdcbahamas.com. from October 7th to November 18th. What are you waiting on? Build your vacation home.
Dutch is brewing more than just coffee. We're brewing strength because we're stronger together. Donate at any Dunkin' location to support breast cancer awareness, and we'll match every dollar you give. Together, we're making a real difference for the Sister Breast Cancer Support Group. Sip, smile, support. When we stand together, we're stronger together because the Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
This holiday season, give the gift that lasts a lifetime. Financial freedom with CFAL. Whether you're looking to take the stress out of holiday giving or plan for the future, CFAL has you covered. With our suite of savings products, you can start with a minimal upfront investment and low monthly contributions. Get a jump start with 2025 financial goals with CFAL Savings Express, or give the little ones a head start with the CFAL Education Plan. You can also secure your own future with the CFAL Blue Marlin Retirement Plan. This holiday season, make your gift count with CFAL, where small savings lead to brighter futures. Visit CFAL.com today to start building wealth so you can live well. Happy holidays from all of us at CFAL.
It is time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. We've got tight pressure gradient across the Bahamas. That's going to slacken today, and strong high pressure north of the area will retreat northwards. That's going to allow for winds to relax, but seas on the Atlantic side will be slow to subside, and a frontal boundary near the southern Bahamas will exit the area. We've got another cold front, though, that's going to move into the Bahamas by tomorrow and through Saturday, and will bring just a few spotty showers along the frontal boundary. Winds and seas will increase once again behind the front and will only begin to subside early next week. So as a result of this, small craft operators should not venture into Atlantic waters due to moderate swells, and beachgoers should stay out of Atlantic waters as there's a high risk of rip currents. Today, for most of the country, look for a mix of sun and clouds during the day, turning mainly fair at night. Look for highs in the mid-80s, around 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. In your extended outlook, that mix of sun and clouds during the day, mainly fair at night pattern will hold through at least Sunday and even into Monday. And for the next few days, low chances of rain after that front. And cooler temperatures after the front moves in for Saturday into early next week. In the tropics, we are keeping an eye on Tropical Depression 19 as of 5 o'clock, located over the western Caribbean Sea near about 280 miles east of Honduras. Maximum sustained winds near 35 miles per hour. This could be Tropical Storm Sarah before the end of the week. That is your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints have got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. And time for another check of your traffic, brought to you by RBC and the Holiday Home and Auto Expo this Saturday at the JFK location at Royal Star House. We've got still heavy traffic on Milo Butler Highway, well south of Bellet Road, even Alexandria and Hamster Roads, northbound through the Fire Trail roundabout all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway in the northbound lanes there. Your alternate routes are busy as well. Glaston Road, seeing some slow-moving northbound. At Blue Hill Road, at a number of spots, heavy traffic for you. St. Vincent Road, north of Carmichael, straight through to the roundabout with Independence Drive. Independence Drive also backed up a bit, westbound especially, and a bit of slow-moving traffic eastbound at this hour. Elsewhere, we've got West Bay Street, got a number of issues near Saunders Beach at New Providence Highway if you're heading eastbound, and then near Arawak Key eastbound and into downtown Nassau near Nassau Street. Downtown looking pretty busy for you this morning. Shirley Street into Duke Street and Blue Hill Road northbound. Really seeing some slow-moving traffic this morning. Elsewhere, we've got Prince Charles Drive and Robinson Road. Robinson Road, you're not moving. West of Soldier into East-West Highway past Old Trail if you're heading westbound. And then northbound traffic slow moving on Soldier and Marathon. Eastern Road still busy for you from east of Fox Hill to about Johnson Road. Good luck to you out there. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC, the Holiday Home and Auto Expo Saturday at the JFK location, Royal Star House.
This station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. And we're talking about getting fitness. That song is suggesting there. But we're very pleased to talk about the IL Cares Foundation, IL Fit Fest, which is Saturday.
This Saturday.
This Saturday, yeah. We're very pleased to talk with Carlo Ramsey. It's been a long time since he's been on the show.
Yeah, hey.
Good to talk to you. And Lauren Clark with Caribbean Bottling. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy to have us.
All right, so let's talk about this. This is the first time you're doing this?
Yes, this is the first time.
All right, how did this come about?
Well, we always looking for ways to continue our pillar of community initiatives. And with all that's going on in health, and, they say health means wealth. So we decided to, just sitting down in the office, VP and I just came up with this idea and playing with it, and it grew and it grew and it grew. So it grew from a little small seed to a big, big tree.
Wow.
So we have about over 25 vendors coming out on this Saturday. Caribbean Bottling Company along with Vita Coco is one of those. We have over $10,000 worth of prizes and gifts, including gym memberships to some of the sponsored partner gyms. We have 500 gift bags for the first 500. And it's right there, right across the road from you, right by UB on the soccer field. So I think it's going to be a good initiative. It's going to be something different, something out of character for IL Cares. But hopefully it grows and it grows and it grows year over year over year.
Mm-hmm. All right, so it sounds like a lot. It's like a festival.
It is a festival.
Yeah.
We have some of the partners like NRG, Juicing for Life, Num Num, and then what's next? Snatch and Go, providing some healthy treats. We have Caribbean Bottle with coconut water. Then we have all the other gyms. We have Club One. We have, I hope I say this right, Band's Body or Body by Bands. Please forgive me. Peach Fit. We have Empire, just to name a few. Mm-hmm. So all of them will be there. And then we have yoga. We have a yoga. Excuse me, a yoga session early in the morning. So we're going to touch a little bit of everything when it comes to health and fitness. Yeah. And we also have a kiddies corner. So for those that, have to make your runs on Saturday, feel free to bring your kids out there if you want to come and check it out. That is powered by More Play, kids obstacle courses and bouncing castles and stuff like that. Strachan is always going to be out there also with this obstacle course. Yeah. J Fitness. So a little bit.
Everybody's out there.
A little bit of everybody. Yeah.
All right, so we'll get back to you, Carlo, with the how the format is going to go, right, in a bit. But Lauren Clark, tell us about why Caribbean Bottling wanted to be a part of this.
Yeah, so one of the pillars of Caribbean Bottling Company is our corporate social responsibility. So when IL Cares came to us about this Fit Fest, we were absolutely thrilled to position Vita Coco in a space that promotes health, wellness, and fitness. We're always looking for opportunities to give back to the community, and we just felt like this would be a positive event to partner with, and so we're really excited to give out some Vita Coco products.
Yeah, tell us more about that. I've seen it in stores. Tell for folks who aren't familiar with it, tell people what that's all about.
So Vita Coco is, I would like to call it on-the-go coconut water, right? You can get it in the food stores, in the gas stations, wherever. At the event on Saturday, we will be offering some of our Vita Coco original coconut water, and then we'll have the pressed coconut water, and then we'll have 2 flavored coconut waters, which is the pineapple and the peach and mango. It's very good.
Pineapple?
Yeah.
So
kind of like a pina colada situation going on.
Without the
extra sugars
and all the alcohol and stuff.
Yes,
right.
yes.
So, interesting. But you could mix it in stuff.
If you'd like.
Anyway, we're talking about healthy fitness stuff here.
Yes,
right.
wellness.
So you got and you can find these at all the stores?
Yes, you can, yeah.
Excellent. Okay. So this is going to be great. Yeah. So Carla, starting at 8 o'clock, what can I expect at 8 o'clock if I get there?
So if we get there at 8 o'clock, we think the yoga session is going to start shortly after 8. That's going to run for about 45 minutes. And then we're going to go into other, what's the word I'm looking for? Other examples of fitness, other fitness sessions, hosted by Peach Fitness. And then we also have the Chick-Chani obstacle course. So we're playing with an idea. Hopefully it gets sorted out. So when you get there, you're going to get like a mini passport.
Okay.
So as you go to the
everywhere you go.
right, different
Oh, that's
vendors, you
nice.
get a stamp, and then we're going to give out random prizes and stuff like that throughout the day. So it's going to be a fun-filled, exciting day, and encourage everybody to come out, dress the part, leave your flip-flops and your heels, put on your kicks and your caps, some sundown lotion, and come sweat, burn some calories, and everybody wants to start the gym. Somewhere in their mind, at some point in the day, they sit on the sofa and say, I really should start the gym today.
Right.
Say, well, should I? How much is that gym? That gym. You know what? So leave it to ILCast. We're going to give you some give you a chance to win some gym memberships to some of your favorite gyms. So come out.
Yeah.
It's going to be well worth it. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be informative. And we also have Eating Well out there with the health screening. So you're going to know, you're going to get to know a little bit about yourself that you didn't know. Blood pressure, blood type, all these other stuff will come with that. Find
Excellent. All right, so you mentioned it, the giveaways with gym memberships and more. Tell us about that, how that will work. What do I need to do to win a gym membership?
Just be present.
That's it.
That's it. Just be present. Yeah. That's it.
That's it.
That's it. Just be present. We're gonna raffle it off, and that's how you win.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
don't want to make it. We don't want to make it difficult. It's free entry.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the entry is free. You just come on out there, walk around, ask questions, learn, raffle off everything.
All right, it's UB Grounds. Which part? Where were we going?
Pontiana Drive.
Okay.
Yeah. The big, right on side of the soccer field.
Yeah.
Big space.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, so I know she's thinking it. Laverne, I know you want to ask your question, right? I'll let you do it.
So of course, I always need to find out what's going to happen in Grand Bahama. What do we have
Anything planned?
Because we want to be healthy too.
So at this moment, we want this is our first, right? So we usually, that's the thing. We usually get calls. Grand Bahama, Abaco, Eleuthera, Exuma. Not to sway off topic too much, but this year we would have done a Family Island hop, where we visited over 13 family islands, and we did an initiative celebrating our 15 years. So all of this is a combination of our 15-year anniversary.
Excellent.
So I'm not going to say nothing is planned for Grand Bahama. I'm going to ask you to let us pull this one off, put it together, iron out the kinks, and then we'll come to Grand Bahama and other family islands with their version of IL Fit Fest.
How's that sound, Laverne? That's okay,
reasonable.
right? Yeah,
that's very reasonable.
Okay. All right. And if I get there 1:00 tomorrow on Saturday, will I miss anything, or will I still be able to go through everything?
You'll miss a few. Everybody will still be in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
All right.
shut down at 3, and 3 o'clock is the time to shut down. We probably won't leave till about 3:30, 4 o'clock. Yeah.
Excellent. All right. So remind everybody what's going to be happening Saturday. IL Fit Fest over there at UB.
Yeah, IL Fit Fest. Don't miss it. Health is wealth. Come on out. It's the Pontiana entrance. We have over 25 vendors and sponsors. I think this is the place to be to get your journey started. Everybody wants to, their New Year's resolution is to be healthier, or to lose 20 pounds or lose 10 pounds or gain some abs. This is now trampoline into the new year, because now you start earlier.
Yeah, you don't have to wait till January.
Yeah, you don't have to wait till January. You can start now. You
Right.
can start Saturday. Come on out. Shorts, tennis, I say caps because of the sun. Sundown lotion, you don't get burned. And come have a good time, man. It's going to be good. It's going to be great. And it's going to be healthy.
All right. Somebody's asking, is it too late to be a vendor?
I want to say no, but I can send you my number offline and we get organized.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk about that off air. Okay. Great stuff. Looking forward to this. And this won't be the last, right?
This won't be the last.
No. Okay. All right. Carla Ramsey and Lauren Clark with Caribbean Bottling. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Looking forward to it. IL Fit Fest Saturday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the University of the Bahamas. IL Cares Foundation. Keep up the great work. All right. We're going to take a break for news and Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
I'm sure you understand my point of view. We know each other mentally. You gotta know that you're burning out. Yeah, now follow me. Let's get physical, physical.
price list of some of the roofing material we carry at Pinda Enterprises. 5/8 pressure-treated roofing ply starting at $36.68. Gray Select Water Shield, $134.20 a roll. Phelps, 15 pounds, $16.50. 30 pound, $19.80. Owens, Corning Duration Shingles, and Certainty Landmark Shingles, $56.56 a bundle. Gallon of roof cement, $33.47. All sizes treated dimensional lumber. And of course, we have all nails and all screws. We have 5/8 sheetrock, $28.76. Half-inch sheetrock, $22.18. All prices include VAT.
The joy of giving comes with rewarding you with US $100,000. Simply apply for a personal loan, auto loan, land loan, or mortgage from CIBC Caribbean. Once approved, you may be entered for a chance to be one of 3 lucky winners in your country. Each winner will pull a card with a surprise cash prize of US $1,500, US $2,500, or US $5,000 cash. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/joyofgiving. CIBC Caribbean terms and conditions apply.
Are you looking to save for a big purchase or occasion? Do you want your money to start making money for you? Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Bond, the Bahamas Government Savings Bond. I am guaranteed to earn interest on your money with terms ranging from 1 to 6 years. Government savings bonds are available to all Bahamians, and for as little as $100, you can start to save for your future. The Bahamas Government Saving Bond, a safe investment guaranteed. Check out the Central Bank for details.
Have you already tried our President Butter? Ooh la la. Indulge a little with President, because now more than ever, we need to savor the taste, textures, and feelings to truly enjoy the little things that mean the most. President Butter, something.
It's easy to go the extra mile when you fill up with Esso Synergy Supreme Plus Fuel. It keeps your engine clean and running smoothly, which helps to make every fill-up last longer. Choose Esso Synergy Supreme Plus Fuel today for better gas mileage and better performance. The Esso brand is a trademark of ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license. Benefits are based on Synergy-branded gasoline compared to gasoline meeting minimum government detergency standards. Actual benefits may vary based on factors such as vehicle type, driving style, and gasoline previously used.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-196.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
Make your house a home, stop by the furniture store that's giving you more. With appliances, prices, whatever you want, we got it all. Promise Furniture, no furniture, we give it you. We make it worthwhile, we make it quality, comfort and style. Quality and style, yeah. Promise Furniture, no wonder no what we give it you. We make it worthwhile, giving you quality, comfort and style. Promise Furniture.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This is Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Thank you.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Thursday, November 14th, 2024. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Laverne Gardner. And this morning we are talking about bribes, pay to play. A study from a new report from the IDB says 75% of Bahamian firms pay bribes. This was in a report entitled, Are We There Yet? The Path Towards Sustained Growth in the Caribbean. It said that 73.4% of Bahamian companies have made informal payments to government officials to either obtain or speed up the necessary approvals or access to services. It's disturbing, but we've heard this before, and it might actually be getting worse. But I'm been here to talk about this before, and I don't know if the last time you were here if we've made any progress with that. Matt Aubrey with Bahamas Organization for Responsible Governance, but welcome back.
Thanks so much.
It's always great to talk with you.
And we appreciate you continuing to keep these dialogues going. I think it's important for folks to constantly work on it. Issues like corruption, which in very, very simple terms is folks who are utilizing their power to benefit themselves or folks that they may have a direct connection with, friends, families, lovers, they say often. It impacts us all at a lot of levels.
And this is corruption.
Well,
right?
it definitely speaks to that, right? So we'll talk a little about what the study says, but it ultimately is something that exists in almost every country, and can happen very easily, but it's not very easy to then start to work and reduce it. So the expectation that it would have changed quickly is probably not a very fair one.
Yeah.
Has progress been made? I definitely think so, and I can talk a little bit more about that. But I think that we have an opportunity, and I think that's where we're going to kind of frame the conversation a little bit about.
All right. So let's begin with some definitions, right? So bribery, I'm sure some people are going to say, oh, that's not bribery. I'm just giving him a little tip.
Sure.
I'm giving him lunch money. He did a great job. I got it done.
Right.
Right? Why would you say that's bribery?
So, hey, Laverne, how are you? I'm sorry, we're going to say something.
Hi, guys. Sorry. Yeah, but Dwight's point, but you're giving them the money sometimes before the work is done. You're saying, I'm just doing because he did such a great job. But the money is exchanging hands and the work has not one thing that's been done yet.
Right. And so thinking about the fact that the way that government operations are supposed to be organized, there are monies that the citizens pay through their taxes, their VAT, the duty that they pay on anything that's imported, the ongoing fees that come with just your day-to-day lives and the things that legally you're supposed to do. And so when those monies are put forward, they are then also, there's kind of this social contract. Government is supposed to operate in your interests, and it's not supposed to change based on whether you live in Nassau or whether you live in Grand Bahama, whether you are a woman or a man, whether you have a certain name or another name, right? It's not, whether you're in one party or another political party. Those things are not supposed to influence how you can access and receive the components of what government provides. So neither should you have an advantage because you have more money or less money. If you are paying your taxes and you're as part of a citizen of the Bahamas, you're due these types of obligations and commitments from the nation, from the government, then if the expectation is you have to somehow pay something additional in order to access that or expedite something or get the provision of service that is just due.
Right.
So when you start to define it and you talk about corruption, absolutely we have different grades. There's money that's in a paper bag that goes to X, a politician, and that opens the door for, say, a big government contract. Sure, we can all agree that that's corruption. But if you're standing in a government line and waiting for a long time and you find that there's somebody that you know because you're either related or you found an access point and you give them a few dollars to move you further up in the line, it still holds the same criteria.
Right.
It's still utilizing and diverting through a system by use of, as you said, a pay-to-play model, right? You're trying to accelerate your access by virtue of paying. And the system is not organized that way, but for a very few instances.
Yeah.
Passports. You want to be able to expedite passports. There is a formal structure where if you need to expedite a passport, there's a payment that allows you to do so. Those monies that you pay in that instance, they go into the public coffers. They're being used for or supposed to be used for your public benefit. In their pocket, that's just going in their pocket.
Right.
That's that. And the subsequent response of you moving further in that line also has a disproportionate impact on those people who have to now wait behind you because you jumped the line, and the time it takes for you to access your service means they have to wait longer. So when we think about this spectrum, let's say, of what corruption might be, I think the thing that we have to ultimately go back to is, does it impact others negatively? And if it does, then that's not something we probably need to support or need to even need to kind of just look the other way, because that's just the way things work here. Because they have an impact. And usually, and this is what one of the things that this IDB study that came out looked at, they impact folks in different ways. They impact folks from marginalized communities, women, youth, folks with disabilities, folks in our family islands. They are the ones that actually have the greatest impact when monies are being used or resources are being used that are going to support individuals instead of the public good.
Yeah. So to Vern's point, no, there are people who are going to say there is a difference. If I have to pay this up front, it's a little different from just give me a little something after I did the job for you. But is there a difference at all?
There was a study before Dorian, but there was a study that Transparency International did with Citizens for Better Bahamas, which was a not-for-profit that was existing at the time, that was looking a lot at a much deeper dive than sometimes you see in the annual Transparency International Index. And the study was called A Barometer of Corruption in the Caribbean. And they found that the Bahamas was the highest in the region of paying bribes without even being asked.
Wow.
Which means that it has become ingrained in a system.
Part of the culture.
Right. So when businesses are operating, there may be a little side bit of their budget that they say, well, this is just because we got to pay those tip monies. We know we got to take care of the people at government so that they take care of us. And again, if you're coming up with a system to navigate a government system that is slow or maybe has too much bureaucracy or isn't responsive, you can understand the logic of why somebody might support that. I just want to move my business along. I just need to get access. Somebody's got an hour at their lunch hour and they need to get a government document, but they only have that hour and they walk into an office and they don't have the time to waste. Yeah, well, let me just pay tip money. It makes a lot of sense why they would do it in the instant. But I think it's also important to recognize that it has an impact. It ultimately has an impact. It supports informal systems to exist in government, which means that corrupts the formal systems. So those good and fair public servants that are doing their work on a regular basis and come to work just trying to, they're supposed to, they're getting paid less than the folks that are going around the system, right?
Yeah.
They're taking home less money in their annual pay. That's got to demoralize those folks. That's got to diminish their excitement about and their pride in doing their job, right? It's got to slow systems up. It's got to make sure that the lines that the folks that don't have the money to pay now have to wait in a much longer line because somebody else is cutting the line because they can pay. So the impact of it ultimately has a negative effect on not only the way that government operates, but also our expectations of government, and it cuts down to day-to-day things that impact us.
Yeah. So earlier you said, you mentioned the word progress. Is there progress?
What's really interesting is when you look at, I think first and foremost, getting information and learning these things becomes an instance of progress because it creates an opportunity for us to look forward at that. There's also a challenge related to not just the opportunity and the instance of corruption, but also the perception of corruption. Because in truth, that perception probably supports why the Bahamas continues to just pay up front because they think that's what's supposed to happen, versus people's belief that government can't work. We've had a lot of advances. Just the movement that came out of COVID to digitize government so drastically reduced the opportunity for you to have a person-to-person interaction where you might be asked to pay a bribe or where you might think I can get around the system. It creates a more equitable opportunity. Everybody has the same shot to be able to get things to move along. Not to say that systems cannot still be made to be corrupt or folks can't take advantage of those systems, but it reduces the opportunity when you think about back in the days when road traffic, there was somebody with a paper binder that you had to talk and put all your information in and a long line that 2 or 3 folks would come up to you while you were waiting in that line to tell you, hey, I can get you out of this line. Right? So just that already indicates that there's a potential. We also have seen advancements in law. We know that some of the highest points in corruption across the world comes through government contracting, government procurement. Well, we've passed not 1, but 2 procurement laws. One last administration passed one, and then this administration revised, not drastically, but revised and passed their own version of a procurement law. And it has not fully developed in the way that it should, but there currently is a place where you can go and see where's the list of the different types of contracts that are coming up. You can also see where some of those contracts have been dispersed afterwards. I don't think we're at the exact schedule that the law requires, and I don't think that it is as all-encompassing as the law speaks to, which means state-owned enterprises and other quasi-governmental spaces are also supposed to be adherent. But there is something that is now in place that creates a more equitable opportunity to look for contracts, as well as a level of transparency related to who got those contracts. And there's even information on some of those that tells you why they got those contracts. So those are clear advancements. Are we seeing the impact of those or people recognizing those as advancement? I think that becomes the next hurdle.
And how do you get over that hurdle?
So part of it is looking at how we can leverage all the things that are happening together. Very often in the Bahamas, in the Caribbean, and in some places in the global South, we see that lots of things happen in small ways, but we still work, and you know this word, in silos. And when you work in silos, it means you're only going to achieve a certain amount. So when we look at the platforms related to promoting integrity and transparency in the Bahamas and reducing the potential for or the perception of corruption, we actually have a lot of things that are at play. We had a conference last spring, where we brought folks together to talk about anti-corruption, not necessarily to focus on its destructive aspects, but probably to more look at what are we doing now. And we brought folks from government, from the private sector. We brought folks from media, Candia, Dames. We had folks from academia, from the church, from youth groups, and we all talked about the things that we each were doing in that instance. And we actually created a framework that reflects in the different areas how we're addressing. How do we prevent these things? When they happen, where are they being enforced? How do we ensure that we're detecting them? How are we educating the public? And there were so many things that were actually happening, but they were happening in a way that they weren't connected. So we had a central bank that was doing a tremendous amount related to diligence and had developed things like an ombudsman system so that there was an appeal, that there were whistleblower systems in place. We had people our good friend Debbie Deal and Leonard Sands at the Bahamas Contractors Association, that even though the regulations weren't in place, they were promoting a code of ethics, and they were driving that. We were looking at resources that had been put forward to try and reduce the instance and the impact in customs, places we know that are quite vulnerable. All of these things are happening, but maybe in smaller ways than they need to, and definitely not in a way that they connect and benefit and support each other. The opportunity is how do we work together? Because it's not just in government. It's on the other side too, right? It's who's supporting that. So part of it becomes also our awareness of our own responsibility. So as individuals, we have to make choices. And are those choices, are we aware that there are systems in place? Are we aware of what the obligations we might have? And more importantly, are we aware of the impact that when we do go around the system, what that looks like and what that means to a lot of other folks behind us?
Yeah, so that's related to the next question I have. I mean, you mentioned it, culture. It's in our culture. It's not going to change overnight. How, even with more of this being digitized, these processes, how will you get people to not be thinking, I still need to have some money to tip him?
It's a slower process. And interestingly, we've been at a number of international spaces recently and talking with other countries, and particularly our colleagues in the region. And this culture adherence is absolutely consistent, right? Think about it coming from a post-colonial existence, thinking about it coming from a post-slavery existence, dependent to advance. It was how you survived, right?
Wow.
That was what moved you through and your ability to do that. But those systems that were those ruling systems in place, they broke down your connection to the collective.
I just want to pause you right there.
Yeah.
That's very serious what you just said. People talk about this all the time. You need to join this organization,
Right.
and then you won't have to do this, or you will get to
Right.
do this. And that is being drilled into young people and people who aren't a part of these organizations every day. So we've got a long way to go.
Well, it's the perception that there, one, is only so much to go around. And I think so we're going to take care of ours. And whatever that ours is, it could be my family, it could be my brethren, it could be my congregation, it could be my island. But we tend to think in that mindset that there's only so much to go around, so I got to take care of mine. But it also means that we're also looking at environments where we think that our participation directed to ourselves and our own preservation is what's going to get us through the. And the truth is that's a very short-term opportunity. A longer-term opportunity is thinking, how do we set up systems that generate and utilize the monies as best as possible? When we think about corruption, folks to think about that is your money. So if you sent somebody to the store and you gave them, I want you to go pick me up some gum, but I only got a $20 bill, and you give them that $20 bill and they come back and they don't have any change, you're going to have some questions. They might even have the gum. You're going to have even more questions, right? So it is critically people's money that is being utilized, and it's being utilized for your own benefit. So the things that you see out there that frustrate you day to day, the potholes, the lack of energy at times, the access to water, the safety in our communities, the upkeep of public spaces, all those systems that you depend upon, those things are fueled by your money. So it's how your money is being used. And so your concern, not only of just how your individual circumstances are being taken care of, also should be combined with how are the monies that you've put forward creating a space where you have more and more opportunity. Opportunity shouldn't be limited to just a few, right? And we've seen that. One of the challenges we saw through Dorian and COVID in terms of trying to recover is that we were so dependent upon a few sources of external money that it really compromised our ability to maintain our local opportunities, right? So if we have a better and a better economic, a local economic environment, which means people being able to start businesses, grow those businesses, succeed those businesses, invest back in the community, all of a sudden we're much more resilient to things like the circumstances we're seeing with climate change, the challenges that come related to natural disasters. So our ability to succeed long term is about how we think and invest our money and our time. So we don't want to invest our money in time where those monies are just going to go through a hole in the bottom of a bucket and disappear. You want to go where you're going to see the benefits of that investment. When we talk about things like cost of living is absolutely impacted when monies that you're giving to government are not necessarily going to what they were supposed to go to. Or government has to pay more money because services are slow or things are not happening because the system isn't as transparent or accountable as it needs to be.
Wow. All right, so we're going to talk a bit about how this is impacting businesses in a bit. But we've got a few calls coming in and text messages already. We're talking with Matt Aubrey with Org Bahamas. Let's take these calls. Yep. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Very much, Dwight. Mr.
Hi.
Aubrey.
How are you, sir?
Oh, man, this is wonderful. When government election time, they may use some of the funds to bribe persons to vote for them. Is that legal if I'm running as a candidate and you know I'm giving you this money to vote for me? Is that bribery? Is that illegal?
Well, obviously, monies that are being put for the public purse should not be used for political purposes. That is absolutely on the illegal side. And the concept that people's votes should be up for grabs absolutely is a corrupt practice. The awareness, though, and the understanding that the use of your vote, the use of your choice, could be used to benefit a smaller and smaller group, because the people who pay the big money are looking to protect their interests, should also give people pause. Because you're then practicing, you're supporting something that even if you take that little bribe or that T-shirt or those dollars in a T-shirt that people talk about, you're still supporting a system that might, in fact, not support what you want. It might just be set up to ensure that those who do well continue to do well, instead of a more diverse, inclusive opportunity, right?
Thank you very much.
Okay. We've got another call, and you can call in as well, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, or toll free, 242-300-5720. Call.
Good morning, Mr. Strachan. How you doing?
Doing well. Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Gardner. And good morning to your guests.
Good morning.
Good morning.
That's a gentleman from the Good Governance org, right?
Yes.
Organization for Responsible Governance.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was wondering, two questions, please. I want to know, firstly, because I was here, you said that that government is for everybody, no matter if you voted for the person or not, no matter party affiliation, no matter what it is, male, female, no matter your name, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wondering if your organization assists individuals who feels as if the government is probably discriminating against them for some type of reason, like they went to the government and the government didn't fulfill an obligation that they feel was due to them as a citizen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you all help individuals in those cases? Like, do you all look into it to see if it's worth it, etc.?
I would say indirectly. The reality is, org is not set up as a watchdog organization. There are groups like Human Rights Bahamas that have done and helped folks to pursue specific cases. They're a little bit more focused in that instance, and they have more legal resources. Our focus of our not-for-profit is really how do we change the system long term, and by doing so, how do we put things in place that can ensure that folks get their fair share, that folks are treated equally. One of the things I would point to, though, we've advocated passage of the Ombudsman Act. We put forward some recommendations. We did benchmarking. We shared that legislation as widely as we could so that it reflected the interests and the input of citizens across the Bahamas. And so that law has been passed, which is great. However, we also have advocated that law now needs to be put into force and needs to be resourced through the appropriate monies in the government budget. It was passed last...
I mean, you need competent individuals there, too, who
Right.
have some integrity, because I mean, it's only as good as the integrity of the individual.
Well, and that's exactly right. So if you look at the nature of what the law talks about, and it's a really important. If you can go to orgbahamas.com and look at the Ombudsman Act that has been passed, and you'll see what it speaks to.
I want to bring up a.
But let me not miss this opportunity just to encourage. What can folks do about that? You can absolutely speak to those folks that you elected and tell them that this needs to be prioritized in this coming budget, that this needs to be prioritized and put into full force, because that ombudsman becomes the person that, if you're feeling that government is what they call in the act of maladministration, is not serving you right, is not doing what they're supposed to, they are ultimately put in place to be your advocate, to be somebody who can work through government to resolve those issues. So it's a really critical tool.
But the main thing I wanted to talk about, I wanted to ask you was, because I heard you saying like that, and I heard you also said that how you have been involved with certain entities like the church, etc. So you have access to these individuals where you could talk to them and where you could have, explain things to them if you have a case to bring to them, you know what I mean? But the thing I want you to talk about, since you were talking about bribe and like quid pro quo type thing, right, is foreign campaign contributions to local parties here.
Right.
I feel as if that is the biggest form of what you're talking about, and the most dangerous of all the things that you talk about. I feel as if that's the greatest form of possible bribery or quid pro quo or things that could result in the worst effects for the people. So I feel as if that is wrong, right? And I feel as if, I want to know if you feel as if it's wrong. And if you feel as if it's wrong, then I would like to see your organization put forward to the people, like bring forward a petition or however is best to agitate government, right? And I want you to go back to them same people who you've been talking to, the church, you know what I mean? Get the church involved so the church can get their members involved. And I want you as an organization to bring something to us that we can support, because we will support that as long as you show us exactly that will be better governance for us. So we want you to go, at least I would like you to bring forth. And,
Yeah, we heard you. Okay, thank you, caller. Matt was just on a few months ago talking about campaign finance reform. This is another major issue that you talked about.
And I appreciate the call to action. And I'd like to, again, say two things. One, we do talk a lot about those concepts. We have kind of advocated for the importance of campaign finance. But as one organization, it only holds one voice. The reality is we need to be a lot bigger and broader. So we encourage folks to get involved. Our tagline is get informed and get involved. And that getting involved can absolutely include orgs. So please check us out at orgbahamas.com. Let us know how you want to be involved. We need volunteers to go to communities. We look, when laws come forward, we look at getting folks to get their input and do that. But it comes down to the fact that the thing that needs to move political will is public will.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't make a lot of sense for a small group to try and influence another small group. It's much more important when the broader group has their message, pushes forward. So I think there's probably a lot of folks who believe what you're believing.
Yeah.
It's important we link y'all together so we can push those messages forward and say, let's change it for the better.
We just had a party chairman say he doesn't believe the campaign finance reform is a big issue that people are concerned about. If you disagree, you need to make your voice heard. Whenever you see any of these MPs, tell them, hey, that is in my top 5 of priorities.
And the caller made the link to say those things impact day-to-day existence. I think that's what's really important, is realizing that when governance is not transparent, it's not accountable, when there's not integrity in governance, when corruption is going on, it impacts your day-to-day existence. It impacts the cost of what you have to pay. It impacts the fact that you're putting more and more tax money forward and getting less results. It means that there's less opportunities out there. It means that those that have money are taking the opportunities from those that maybe have great ideas and have done a lot of hard work, but maybe don't have the access or the affiliation. So it absolutely makes that contact. And campaign finance and pushing for laws like the Integrity Commission law that was talked about was put forward and tabled in the last administration and mentioned in this administration's blueprint for change, these things need to be prioritized. We're dealing with day-to-day crisis, but if these things are in place and they're enacted and folks are aware of it so that government can be responsible to citizens, a lot of positive changes can happen, and we'll see it on a ground level.
All right, this text here, I don't know if they're trying to be funny, but this is, we really do need to break this down quite a bit. They're saying we don't call it bribes, Dwight. We call it let me buy you lunch. And we said that already. But it depends on your intention, right? If you're like, oh, wow, that was great. Here's whatever. That's different from if you do this for me, I will give you something.
So
right? Or what? Explain it.
So from when I give you the thing, I'm already giving you this quote unquote lunch money.
Right.
Because I have been told, or it is just a common thing that I do to get the people to do what it is that they are contractually hired to do.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess the thing I would say in the simplest, and I'm looking at the front of the Guardian right now. I will not name the name, but a very popular chicken restaurant right now has a $20 bucket special, right? And you're driving through on drive-through, and you see that advertised. That's a $20 bucket. How many people get to the window and say, "Here's $24," and keep it? Not many.
You'd be insane.
Right? So if you know a thing costs a thing, are you comfortable paying more for that
That's
thing?
A great example.
If there's a
why would you do that?
Right? Why it doesn't make a lot of sense, right? So in the instance of that money is not going to improve government. It's not going to improve the access you should have. It shouldn't. It's what
even if that cashier smiled at you and said, "Oh, I love your shirt. Oh, you're so nice. Let me give you $4 extra. Don't do it."
But even more so than that is because you were doing it. Now, when I come using the same example with my $20, because that is the advertised price, the cashier is now looking at me like, that's it?
Right. And that is the challenge and it's been already identified through different reports that there are definitely parts of the public sector that are not being paid very much. And so as a means to supplement income, this becomes something that becomes institutionalized.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know from a few anecdotes that when they started to put more digitized systems in road traffic, that it compromised some people in a big way. Money they were depending on to take care of their family now was gone because they couldn't do the same thing. But that means that shouldn't be the way that those individuals grow and expand their revenue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's a lot of efforts right now in terms of what they call upskilling. So giving folks an opportunity to have a side business, to do something. But the side business should not be accessing government services. Mm-hmm. That isn't a legitimate way.
Yeah.
They're not paying taxes on those monies. Those monies are not going to support government. Those monies are actually, to Laverne's point, setting a bar that then means the folks who can't pay get a rougher treatment.
Okay, so I don't know if this person is this is a different texter justifying the tip thing, but they're saying you all are mixing up paying off for goods versus services. They're not the same.
They are absolutely. There's a service that is assigned. Paying for a tip for an exemplary service is maybe a standard in a restaurant. It's not a thing in government speaks about that. Nothing in government speaks to the fact that there should be some extra level of remuneration. And the impact of doing so, as Laverne pointed out, is it changes the nature and the expectation for the folks that cannot pay. Mm-hmm. So if we think about the folks that are already marginalized, the folks that have difficulties, our seniors, folks from lower economic communities, folks from our family islands, youth, women, research shows time and time again, they become more disenfranchised when circumstances are not fair.
Yeah.
So do we support a system that ensures that if everybody's going to pay the exact same thing, if everybody has to go to government to pay those $4 extra to get that access, then that should just be the cost of what it is, because then we would know that those $4 are going to support what the government is supposed to do, which is support and provide services for the broader community, not just for a few. So finding a way to move through the system is a very clever circumstance. Taking care of people that you know in the system, developing strong relationships. Again, a very clever and innovative way to deal with something that might be challenging, but it ultimately does have an impact. And the expectation of why something that has a set fee, whether it be a service or a good, should still stand.
Yeah. This texture says, how do you make people agree when there doesn't seem to be any repercussions? The police, oh boy, well, they're making a claim with the police. But we've not heard of this, heard much at least.
Right, and so that is one of the things that we've identified. One is that there needs to be greater public awareness. And I think we need to unbundle these issues because they are confusing and they are steeped in culture. And they are not something that, to make the point, if you decide to go down the path of integrity and you decide I'm not going to contribute, it can be very difficult. It can be harder for you. You're now taking on a burden, right? So what are you taking that burden on? Sometimes it's important to take the pain for a longer term gain. And that's what I think part of it has to be. The other, though, is that's looking at these systems that need to be in place. We've talked about, and for years, and Dwight's going to roll his eyes when I say, but the Freedom of Information Act is a crucial piece of legislation. Not just because you as an individual should be able to go and you find out and get access to information, but when those laws are in place, government operations become more effective. They become more efficient. The use of tax monies becomes better kept, better stewarded. Those things are crucial in terms of making an impact for all of us. Mm-hmm. So pushing for the things that they've talked about or passed in law to make sure that they're really working are crucial. Yeah. There is a crime watch line that you're supposed to use. How many folks know where to get that, or that's easily posted? So we can advocate to tell government they need to make sure these things are easily accessed. It's, on many countries, it's right there as soon as you go to a government website. It's right there with a way to be able to report these things. This is something you'd have to do a lot of research to find where you might make that report. Wow. So we have to push forward for it to be easier and safer. That's the other thing. We heard the term of whistleblowers. Folks a lot of times won't come forward because they aren't comfortable or feel that they'd be safe if they brought forward a claim. You can't feel comfortable reporting to the same people that you think are participating in the corrupt act. So finding independent spaces, pushing for things like the Integrity Commission, pushing for things like the Ombudsman to be fully realized, making sure that procurement bill is as fully developed as possible. These things, you will see a difference on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. And I don't be rolling my eyes, not because I don't support
No,
it,
I know.
but because we're still here and there's been
We're
so
still
little
talking about
movement.
it.
Oh, God. Okay, so let's talk about the impact to businesses. Again, this says that 78.7% of firms admitted to paying the bribes. That's crazy, and it estimates that this is costing 3.1% of a Bahamian company's annual sales.
So
It's insanity.
that becomes that same question, or to use another analogy, if you're drinking a big glass of Bahamian fruit punch, and there's a hole in the bottom, you're probably
Gotta
not
drink it fast.
right. That's right. So, but it's gonna spill. You want to find a cup that doesn't have a hole. Like losing anything for our businesses is tough. We were just at a really powerful Bahamas Chamber of Commerce member event, and Bahamas Chamber of Commerce is doing, and the family chambers are doing great work to try and support and engage small businesses. And we talked to so many talented folks who have great innovative ideas and are working their way through the system to try and build something unique in the Bahamas economy. And they talked about how challenging it is. They talk about the access to capital is so crucial. They talk about having to be innovative and creative with how they use their monies, because we know it's tough, and there are circumstances that are affect the ease and the cost of doing business here to make it very difficult. So we don't want to think about that there's a 3% that's just going to be disappeared, right?
Yeah.
And that could be invested back in the business. That could be bringing on and supporting employees. That could be
Giving people raises.
exactly
and
right,
bonuses.
right.
Yeah.
So things that then generate benefits to our community, to the businesses, to our local economy are the things that we want folks to invest in, not things that support a few folks and really have happened anyway.
Yeah. This texter says here, I believe the problem we have is that we have lost all sense of what is at minimum ethical. This loss of ethical standards has slowly seeped into actual instances of illegality and corruption. Well, everybody's doing it. This is the way it is. That's the way it works. Oh, boy. When you look at, no, that's a totally different thing. And they go on to say that there's something called ethics rules. You cannot accept gifts beyond a certain value in the course of doing your job. Well, you shouldn't. Our problem is that we have lost all sense of what is ethical.
So, and I know it can feel that way. And I think I not only empathize with that, but I think I want to make that message clear. We need to take heart and recognize what we have done and where we are. So things have not been fully materialized that have been put in place on the legislative side. We need to push forward because we're closer than we've ever been before. The freedom of information is as close as it's ever been in the Bahamas, and it's closer than some other spaces in the Caribbean. We could get there. It's going to require public voices speaking out to those folks that you've represented. We're just about to enter the silly season. Folks are going to come around from different parties or non-parties, and they're going to have a list of the things that they will do if you vote for them. It's probably important for you to have a list and say, these are the things I want you to do in order to get my vote. So reversing that dialogue is going to be a crucial opportunity. But I also want to point to say that conference that we had really did change my mindset about this, because there are lots of things happening in different sectors. There are many business industry associations that are putting forward ethical standards. There are individuals in academia that are doing research on these things. There are community groups like ours that are pushing and pushing promotion of professional standards in the not-for-profit sector. There are a lot. The Bahamas Bar Association has pieces and things they're putting forward into the judiciary. We need to connect the dots, though. We need to make sure that all of these things support each other, and that transparency isn't just an easy word to say, but it has meaning. We just saw a report that the PM was talking about in around climate change and the critical need for transparency in climate change. And the research shows that that's going to be crucial. Lots of money are going to be put forward. And so knowing where those monies are being spent to make sure that they benefit the folks that are being most affected by the issues of climate change is essential.
Yeah.
But transparency can't just be in one area. It's got to be something that we live and we breathe on all areas. And where we see it, we've got to support it, magnify it. So when you do see instances of public servants that are doing what they're supposed to, recognize that, appreciate that. When you see business associations or not-for-profit groups or others that are promoting integrity or transparency, don't just wave your hands and say it's never going to happen here. You have the power to make it happen here. What's your role in it? What can you do? And that's why we say get informed and get involved.
All right, we've got less than 2 minutes, so I have two things to ask you about really quickly. All right, so you're talking about transparency. You're in the other paper today talking about the police force and transparency. Really quickly, tell us exactly what you're
So
calling for.
what we see is that across the world, public trust has taken a big hit. Coming out of COVID, almost every country in the world is showing a decline in the trust that a public has in their government. And so we took it upon ourselves to look a little further to say, what does it look like here? And we absolutely saw that there is a lack of public trust, not only in government, but in all institutions, including not-for-profits, including corporations, including churches. And so we know that that's a crucial challenge. The police have talked about the fact that one of their systems to battle crime is community needs to own the solution. That owning of the solution also requires trust. So as we think about the instances of transparency, groups like the police have to be intentional in how they communicate, making it consistent, making it as open as possible, because they then set the stage for their strategies to be successful.
Yeah. All right. So this texter here, Laverne, you know about this, right? You know that did you do a separate comprehension class in school? Like we had comprehension along with phonics and because you know a lot of people did very badly with comprehension in school here, and clearly we've got a problem. I keep thinking there must be a filter on the radio, and what people hear outside the studio is some. This texture says your guest pushed for the ombudsman bill, but now he's saying his organization is too small to push against campaign finance reform. Make it make sense. They're only dealing with selective issues. That is not what you said at all.
Not at all what I was saying. I'm saying that we have a better opportunity to get these things over the line if we all do our part. That's what we're saying.
The public has to drive this. All of us, not one organization. You cannot look for your safe mirror and do this.
The problem. And that right there is the problem.
Oh, my gosh.
We keep expecting org and other organizations to push these things forward without our help. And then, we'll come on board at the end.
Man.
He's saying all of us. We have a loud voice if all of us are saying the same things that org is saying. That all of us are agitating for these things. That's all.
Anything else you want to add?
No,
Matt?
well said. Other than to say, org is a not-for-profit. Org operates based on support from foundations and individuals and corporations and the use of volunteers. So if you are interested in getting involved, please let us know. We have lots of work that needs to get done. We have folks that can help you. You can absolutely be a part of the solution by working through org or any of the really important not-for-profits that are working in your communities.
Yeah.
So please check us out at orgbahamas.com. Follow us on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram. And we hope that you absolutely get informed and do get involved.
And you do have information on your site about campaign finance reforms, right?
Yep.
So go on orgbahamas.com
and check out our Policy Review Center.
Yeah. Always so much for being here with us. We appreciate it. All right, we're going to take a break and be back to wrap things up really quickly. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
They spend it in Miami, trying them get home. When paying time, they got a dime. Now customers one day, only one day. Tip, tip, tip. Everybody want tip. If you want to get some service, you know you better tip. What? Tip, tip, tip. Everybody want tip.
This holiday season, give the gift that lasts a lifetime. Financial freedom with CFAL. Whether you're looking to take the stress out of holiday giving or plan for the future, CFAL has you covered. With our suite of savings products, you can start with a minimal upfront investment and low monthly contributions. Get a jump start with 2025 financial goals with CFAL Savings Express, or give the little ones a head start with the CFAL Education Plan. You can also secure your own future with the CFAL Blue Marlin Retirement Plan. This holiday with CFAL, where small savings lead to brighter futures. Visit CFAL.com today to start building wealth so you can live well. Happy holidays from all of us at CFAL.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL BICA, the Bahamas Institute of Chartered Accountants, and President Pertino Albury says the work done on getting small and medium-sized businesses compliant with the Business License Act 2023 created growth for BICA members. You can read about that in today's Guardian Business section. Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Chester Cooper, says that the Bahamas Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, which is concerned about a pilot's exam that they say is not fitting for the Bahamas, he says they should continue to dialogue with the Civil Aviation Authority of the Bahamas over the issue. Cooper says that the need for the exam comes from a recommendation from the U.S. Federal Aviation following their audit of the Bahamas. The association, though, said last week that it has voiced its concerns with Cooper and Civil Aviation. Cooper told members of the media that they have had very active engagement with aviation stakeholders. Doctors Hospital cutting the ribbon to a new medical facility on Paradise Island, with the company's chief financial officer, Dennis DeVoe, explained that the new facility is part of the hospital's move to ensure communities in the Bahamas have access to affordable health care. DeVoe says Doctors Hospital Paradise Island Medical Center brings a state-of-the-art medical facility with urgent care services to the heart of Paradise Island. And the Street Fighter video game tournament held at the Fusion Superplex over the weekend, a success for vendors, but could have been better attended by local and international players. Organizer and president of the Bahamas Esports Federation, Michael Armagon, telling Guardian Business that the Street Fighter tournament did well, but they have to work on attracting more players. Details on that event in today's Guardian Business section. Overseas wholesale prices in the U.S. rose last month, remaining low, but suggesting that the American economy has yet to completely vanquish inflationary pressure. Thursday's report from the Labor Department showed that its producer price index, which tracks inflation before it hits consumers, rose 0.2% from September to October, up from a 0.1% gain the month before. Compared with a year earlier, wholesale prices were up 2.4% year-over-year gain of 1.9% in September. A 0.3% increase in services prices drove the October increase. Wholesale good prices edged up 0.1% after falling the previous 2 months. Excluding food and energy prices, which tend to bounce around from month to month, so-called core wholesale prices rose 0.3% from September and 3.1% from a year earlier. The readings were about what economists had expected. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Wednesday, your market movers, APD Limited moving 70 shares, closing unchanged at 44.64. Commonwealth Bank moving 1,800 shares, up 12 cents to 4.89. Consolidated Water down 4 cents, closing at $5.02. Emera Incorporated down 12 cents, closing at $8.73. The BISX All-Share Index closing at 2,895.22, down 0.04. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Gardner, thank you so much for being with me today. Really appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Pleasure.
I'll talk with you again next week. And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight, Strachan, have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green. Next.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.